Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-written commentary, Ashton, and this is the week in review. Appreciate any of you joining us while the Commanders and the Detroit Lions are having a very intense game, at least by the score box that I've been looking at. I have not watched any of the actual game because that would make me anxious as fuck. So hopefully this commentary will provide a nice distraction. And I gotta say, it's been a very interesting week. I thought Raw, it was strong, but I had some problems with it. We'll get to that. NXT might have been my show of the week. And admittedly, I only watched highlights from SmackDown. I didn't watch the whole thing. But I mean, Chelsea and Piper and their act continue to delight. However, because we here at TwitWoW would like to be more positive while the world is literally and figuratively burning, let us talk about the negative stuff first, shall we? And really, for me, oh boy. So I've had a pretty good day today. I got some stuff that's annoying me, but I've been a good hydro homie. I've had 2 bottles of water. I was tempted to take edibles today. That's how good I was feeling. Abel had me cackling in the Discord with that Chris Jericho video. I popped myself by watching his shitty wrestling and calling him Chris Jerablow. I mean, I thought I was a genius. But then I thought, you know what? No, no, no. I don't want to take edibles because I knew that would run into this commentary. And I want my criticism to be just as coherent as it is searing for the shit that I fucking watched. So let's work backwards because I want to save the grand pile of shit for fucking last. I watched the highlights from Moxley versus Hobbs. Hobbs is a fucking beast. Great look. Love the stuff he did in there. And Mox, even though I hate this fucking gimmick and I hate everything about it, he's still solid enough in the ring, right? I really do think that when you just let him be him and you don't try and do too much, like this gimmick is literally in my mind the epitome of doing too much. He's a great asset, right, for any company. But this over like God, okay. So on one hand, if I'm looking at glass half full, they really went out of their way to protect Hobbs, right? Like interference here, going to use a foreign object here, and he kept kicking out. And then finally, it was a pass out decision to end the match. So on one hand, I like how strong they made him look. On the other hand, though, the optics continue to be fucking terrible. This is a promising stud of a young black male wrestler going against a guy who, again, the whole inspiration of the gimmick, romper stompers, skinheads, white sprint, all that shit, gets the win. I'm not saying necessarily you should have had Hobbs win here. I mean, I would have popped big, but it's not even about the loss. It's about what happened after the loss. These guys are all beating Hobbs down now. Hobbs, even for a little bit, comes back from that and starts fighting back. Again, I think in AEW's mind, they really tried to protect Hobbs and make him look strong. And I wouldn't say that it was a complete failure. I mean, you could see the effort was clearly there. I'm trying to be judicious. I will have no judiciousness for the next segment I'm going to talk about. But they still get the one up on Hobbs because they just very clearly have the numbers game. They break his knee, so they take him out now. So once again, this white supremacist inspired faction doing real physical violence to black competitors, and then fucking Cope's music hits, and that's not even me joking. That's what AEW wants us to call him now. That's a whole other fucking thing. I'm like, why? Why? They come out and they want to make the so okay. Beyond the whole white savior thing that Ashton's already talked about with like Darby Allin and Private Party with that whole segment like a few months back. So we're kind of retreading that here. Why did we have to do the trope again of waiting for the music to hit? Like it feels so contrived. It saps it of any kind of concern, any genuine emotion or pathos, like me being angry at these guys or me being relieved that Hobbs is safe. It just, again, I say contrived again. It's just a word I keep circling back to. And it's just like, it's Cope. I like, and I do want to call him Edge. I've known him pretty much my entire life as Edge. I like Edge. There have been periods of Edge's career that I think coincided with some of my favorite content in wrestling. When he was really hungry for the world title and he was like that entitled, aggrieved heel, wondering why everything was screwing him at every turn. Love that shit. Could watch those promos all day. And then when he went crazy with Vicky Guerrero in the feud with The Undertaker, legendary shit. I have loved shit this guy has done. Why are we positioning him as the hero here? Maybe I am missing a lot of content. Or context. I don't watch the product. That is on me. But it just makes everything you tried to do with Hobbs prior just look so bad, or at least trying to do kind of a transitive property thing, giving all of that to Cope. Well, oh, if Hobbs couldn't do it, then Cope's got to be the guy to do it. And I hate it. I hate it. So I'm gonna breathe here. I'm gonna ask you first of all, Ashton, if you watched anything from Dynamite or anything AEW this week, including this, because obviously this is what we're talking about. And if you have anything you would like, before I continue.
I did not watch a single minute of any AEW shows this week whatsoever.
I am so proud of you for your self care. Jesus Christ. I wish one of us was that intelligent because it very clearly isn't me. Um,
Well, one of us was me.
yeah, that is true. That is true. So I guess I should say I wish I was that intelligent. I was not. Um, I don't even know why I did that. I really think it's because I'm trying, man. I'm really trying, man, for year-end awards and everything else. And really not to be snarky, but I really am thinking to myself, if I want easy categories for worst of, just dig into AEW for a little bit, you'll find something. And by the way, I'm not saying this was universal, right? I never want to like be hyperbolic to help my own case. I don't need to. The evidence speaks for itself. But you will see several top-ish comments on that video of the Mox Hobbs highlights saying AEW needs new writers. This is just a rehash of what they've been doing the last few weeks or however long. It's getting old, this and that. So like I feel like more and more people are like souring on AEW. AEW is losing these people with this storyline they're doing, and mainly just again the way that it's structured. But if we thought that was bad, and it was, Jesus, tap dancing Christ, do I have a show for you fucking people? So already, and I have to thank AEW for this because look, people, I am a very lazy person at my core. I don't really like working. I don't really like thinking about stuff that I don't want to think about. And so you really have to rack your brain through the course of a whole year. Man, what was the worst shit I saw? I think it's even harder when you think about the best stuff, especially in a good year, which I'm hoping we'll still have. But AEW just made the worst promo and worst feud so fucking easy for me. So really, thank you. Because if there's any positive at the end of this shit fucking rainbow, it's that you saved me work. MJF and Jeff Jarrett. Now, I am gonna say one unironic positive here. Jeff Jarrett does look to be in great shape. I have not watched him wrestle, so I don't know what the tank is like, but physically, that dude has looked the best I've ever seen him, and I think that would even include TNA stuff. His arms have gotten bigger. Now, I don't know if he's, whatever, that's his business, but he looks good. I will give him that credit. And honestly, given that they already brought this personal stuff up, I feel like it's fair game because you said it on national fucking TV. Apparently, Jeff is a recovering alcoholic. I'm proud of that, man. Look, I've struggled with addiction myself. Addiction's been in my family. That's not something I like to joke about or whatever. That's why I've been concerned for Jeff Hardy so many years. That's why I still to this day side eye, Jimmy Uso because he's gotten those few DUI. Like it's scary shit. So if Jeff has got a lid on his shit and he's doing this stuff and he's performing at this level, genuinely happy for that man on that front. I don't really know much about him. Maybe he's a piece of shit too, but I'm just going with what I'm given. That is the only positive I'm going to say
Oh,
here.
I have one more. I have one other legitimate, genuine positive about this segment, and that is that it actually halted or at least stunted the weekly AEW viewership freefall.
That is incredible for all the wrong reasons. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, they were in free fall like usual. Like segment one, 831 K, segment two, 703 K. So they literally dropped almost 120 or 130,000 viewers from quarter one to quarter two. Quarter three down to 683K, quarter four down to 649K, and the end of quarter four was when the Jarrett MJF live promo started, and quarter five was when it ended, and they went from 649 in quarter four to 675 in quarter five. So they actually bumped up for the first time all show from basically during that promo.
yeah. And you know what? I'll give him that by hook or by crook, right? You get it done. For me, this was already worst promo of the year for me. And given my personal taste, because we have to remember too, year-end awards is a very subjective thing. I don't see why we're making a hero's journey out of Jeff Jarrett in 2020. Well, now 5. This whole road to the title, I've got a year to do it. And MJF and I have had a weird relationship for the last couple of years because I think I've more or less soured on the guy, but he'll occasionally do a promo or do something that I think is good. Even recently, he did a promo that I thought was good after he beat Cole. He was kind of bloodied up. He was sitting seemingly in the parking lot, kind of talking about how he was going to take his world title back. I didn't think it was a bad promo. I actually got a little hyped. And then I realized, like, oh, he's still just gonna use it's just always the fucking same with him. Let me find some scheme or some con. Now, some people might think, well, duh, John, he's a heel. You know, heel doesn't have to be one-to-one with uninspired. I'd actually like more inspired heels, actually, that figure out new creative ways to just be pieces of shit. I mean, God, that sounds like my dream wrestler. You guys fucking know me, and I know a lot of you do because you've been listening for a long time, and God, do we appreciate you for that. But yeah, already I hate this feud. I'm not looking forward to the matchup. I might, though, just have a little bit of fucking follow through, given that I've already put it in worst award slots. Whatever pay per view or whatever that this match happens on, because they're definitely going to do it after this promo. I I will force myself to watch this shit because again, it might just make my worst match of the year, but I don't even know if even they could be that bad. We'll see. But Jeff Jarrett comes out. It seems like he's doing these weekly addresses with people, it almost feels like. But again, that's from the context of not even a casual, just a guy that won't even touch this product that watches the YouTube clips. Doesn't even get a word out. MJF comes out. And I'm not even going to give you a beat for beat thing with the promo because we have more exciting content to talk about. But long story short, they're poking at each other's legacies, and then it devolves into MJF poking at Jeff Jarrett's wife, Karen, and saying, like, oh, you know, when I take you out, I'll be sure to take care of her. And then when I give her back, you'll know what it's like. And this is almost a direct quote, more or less. When I give her back to you, you'll know the taste of a generational talent and an Olympic gold medalist balls in your mouth because we know the whole thing with Kurt Angle and Jeff back in TNA. I thought that was completely tasteless. Do I like Karen as an on-screen figure? Absolutely not. But we don't need to be dehumanizing and slut shaming women in 2025. Like, I really thought we were fucking past this as a culture. And then Jeff Jarrett doesn't rise above it. Can't wait to see the Royal Rumble for you, John Cena. Because he returns fire talking about MJF's parents and how his mom slept around. And I am just, this is the most bargain bin fucking shit. And then MJF talks about Jeff Jarrett's alcoholism. And then, like, what scared me the most that I almost wanted to watch through my fingers was MJF did bring up Owen. It didn't get as tasteless as it could have been, but still being like, oh, Owen was your best friend, wasn't he? And now he's dead. Wow. Oh my God. You know, it's no wonder that Moxley bleeds on every fucking show with how edgy this fucking product is. Uh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Like,
And the fucked up thing about that is we've reacted. I think didn't we react to the show like on this channel? Did we not react to the show that Owen passed away on?
I don't think we did.
But I could have sworn that we saw something about it very recently, like within the last year even, where we saw basically like the reenactment, not a reenactment of it, but like we watched like some kind of a documentary that talked about
Like
the
Dark Side
Owen.
of the Ring, you think?
I don't. We have never watched Dark Side of the Ring together, but we watched something about it, and they literally like after Owen literally passed away, they cut to fucking Jeff Jarrett and he cut a fucking promo and he was like super like sincere and emotional talking about how like I'm rooting for you, buddy, Owen, like shoot promo type shit. Like it was like
Yeah.
goosebump inducing, like creepy almost in the sense that it was like it felt super real because it was fucking real because he was terrified for his friend clearly, but he had to go back to work because Vince is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know what content that was at the time, but I do know the promo you're talking about. And this just to me, this is the very worst of pro wrestling that I really thought for a time we left behind. Like on this same week, guys, you got to understand that I saw a guy that still internally seemingly is recognized as a heel in Obafemi, which that is incredulous to me, but we'll deal with that later potentially. Cut a promo where he is just dripping class and fucking aura and excellence. I know some people think that Obafemi doesn't have the aura the rest of us do. I would highly recommend you to my optometrist. I could forward you to them. That's just my opinion, though. I'm feeling a bit snarky today, clearly, and doesn't have to take any pot shots. Doesn't have to do any of this. Miz has been a heel for fucking. I've never seen him get heat by going this low. Like I just feel like it's lazy. It's lazy, it's uninspired, it's unimaginative, and it's fucking cheap and gross. I felt gross watching this. They do a scuffle, then Karen comes out, then MJF uses Karen as a human shield. It's like territories died for a reason. Okay. I hate Vince McMahon. I hate that he's probably going to get away with everything he did because we're in fucking like far right oligarchy right now, and it fucking sucks. But like he knew what wrestling had to be at a time. This just feels like such a regression. And by the way, he wasn't always brilliant either, fucking obviously. But this just feels so fucking basic. This feels like your dime store territory fucking shit. Oh, we
Can I
gotta
put a phrase to it?
sure.
It feels fucking Bush League.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, we need to because women are delicate. We need to make them vulnerable for the cheap. It's like it's 2025. I saw the stat recently in the Discord: 40% of WWE's audience is fucking women. Like women's wrestling is the hottest commodity in the entire fucking industry right now. And like, oh my God, dude, I hated this so much. I hated myself for watching it. I'm like, you've been making so much progress this year, being kinder to yourself and everything, and you're gonna regress like this. Not even regress in a way where you can even mildly enjoy it. This is how you're gonna. Yeah, let's watch some AEW. Fuck you. If anybody would ever come to me and be like, "You want to watch AEW?" Mentally, I'm making a note. You're dead to me. Like, no friendship can fucking work. No. This is fucking hot fucking garbage. Jesus Christ. Yeah, easily.
Bro, you're
Easy.
doing it to yourself. You're going up to yourself and being like, "Hey, you want to watch some AEW?" and you're doing it.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I regressed. I literally just a few moments ago, I'm like, this was a regression for me. This was a regression for me because if I was really healthy, I would have been like, you want to watch it? And then I wouldn't have even finished the fucking thought because I either would have laughed or I would have slapped myself in the fucking face than watching this Bush League fucking shit. This sucked. This absolutely fucking sucked. Easily my worst promo right now. Gonna be hard to top because here's the thing. You can be awkward and clunky on the mic, and it's annoying, sure, especially if you're a vet. That makes it another level of like concerning. But if you don't do gross content, at least I could probably find it in my heart to be like, you know what? It happens, whatever. Just for how gross, and again, like you said, Bush League, this promo was in content. Not to mention, I really don't care about the feud. Yeah, this is going to be tough to unseat. So again, save me a lot of time, I guess. And we're not even through the first month of the new year, and AEW already gave me this shit. So that's putting a pin in it because, as you already said, you were the smart one, you were the healthy one. You did not watch any AEW content this week. So with that, let's get to Raw. I just want to say, while I'm getting the negative out of the way, because there actually is two really positive things we have to talk about with Raw. Um, can we stop doing stretcher spots in the middle of fucking matches, please? If we're talking about tropes that should die in the new fucking year,
Oh
because
yeah, I
they,
did actually sleep through Raw's main event this week. Like the Balor Priest match started, and like they started going into like the fans and shit, and I passed the fuck out and I slept through the rest of
yeah.
it.
And so yeah, they did a stretcher spot for Priest Balor.
Yeah.
And it just completely stifled the momentum of the match. I just want to come in here too, just very quickly on the AEW discussion, because Foster pointing out Christian making fun of dead fathers. And you know what? You're right. Maybe I should have called that out too. And to be fair, we even started to say that it got old really good because that's all he was fucking leaning on. Um, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I didn't treat it the same way. Maybe I'm a hypocrite, Foster. I guess I'm a hypocrite. But I really hated that. I popped maybe the first two times that Christian did it with other guys. But yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But having acknowledged that, Priest beats Balor. So I don't know what he does now because, he's clearly not in the world title picture. I don't I don't really consider him a favorite for Rumble right now. So he feels kind of in this weird space to me, like what happens next. And so yeah, it was a fine matchup. Hope this feud's over. Balor's now like 0-2 against guys that got excommunicated from the Judgment Day because he lost to Edge at Mania, and now he loses to Priest here. Man, Balor's got to get it together, man. Um, After that, though, you know what? I'd really like to hear your opinions on things. So let's talk about one really good thing because I know you'll be able to sink your teeth into this. Let's talk about Penta's debut. Uh,
Yes.
I'm letting you have the floor, man. I feel like I've talked for like 20 minutes. So what did you think about all this?
You literally have talked for 20 minutes. We're 20 minutes and 41 seconds into this, and you've been
I,
talking the
yeah.
vast majority of the time. So,
Could
yeah,
try and give you the ball once you hadn't watched any AEW content. I know you watched this, so
yeah. Penta's debut, everything was handled fantastically. Um, it's so crazy how um, very very early on into the Lucha Bros AEW run, we kind of got a gist of they were just never going to get their shots as single stars in AEW. And we were both very disappointed by that because I think we both felt like both of those guys are way better as single stars than they are as a tag team. And that says a lot because they're a great tag team, obviously. They're a really good tag team. But now just WWE immediately, Penta shows up and immediately gives him the single star treatment. They debut him in San Jose, which is a great crowd for him because it is a highly Latino audience. A lot of Spanish speakers, a lot of people who were able to understand him later on after the match when he cut a promo that was half Spanish, basically. Um, People who are more familiar with him, people who might have even been there for his Lucha Underground run. Probably not the majority of the audience, but at least enough of them that it helps. And yeah, like the way that he came out immediately, he felt like a star. And then the match itself, whoo! I mean, Penta botched, and there were like a sloppy moment or two, but it didn't linger. It didn't feel like it ruined the pace of the match really. And the really like the overall like the match itself was just so good. Chad Gable's a stud. I love that WWE trusted him with this, and he delivered in every possible way. Um, Penta delivered. I won't say he over delivered because again there were a few little sloppy moments and they were all on him. But I don't think that it was like memorable enough that it's going to make people think he sucks by any means. And he doesn't suck, so that would be a bad take regardless. But no, yeah, this was a brilliant debut, brilliant presentation by WWE. I love Penta's theme song. It is metal as fuck, and it fits him. It's never nothing. I don't think any theme song for him is ever going to beat his Lucha Underground theme song. That shit was just iconic. But I do love that they went the metal route for him, and that's just perfect for the vibe. I genuinely am, and this is maybe like a first. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I'm looking forward to a fan of a performer showing up at a venue so that I can see them interact with that performer. But I am genuinely looking forward to the first time that we see George Kittle at a WWE show so he can interact with Penta because I know how much of a fan he is of him. It's going to be really cool when we get to see that. Maybe WrestleMania might be that moment if Penta gets a WrestleMania match. But yeah, this debut was awesome. Penta actually got to do the arm break. They actually referred to him as a former two-time Lucha Underground champion. They actually referred to the arm break as the sacrifice, and then he got to do the I don't know what they called it before. They called him the pen. They just call it the Penta Driver, I think, in WWE.
yes,
It's
they did.
basically like his version of Made in Japan, like what Shingo does in New Japan. It's like a pump handle driver basically. It looks cool as hell. It works. It's a really effective looking finisher, and the sacrifice arm break is like a setup move for it, which is also cool because it's like I'm gonna break your arm so that you can't escape me tucking the same arm between your legs to hit my finish. It's brilliant psychology, which is something that Penta has always struggled with. So whoever put that together for him, thank you. You like put the cherry on the Penta Sunday. It's great.
I think you said everything impeccably. I don't really want to add anything. I think the only thing I will add, just for my own sake, Chad Gable deserves a singles title this fucking year.
Yes. I'm doubling
Um,
down on that. I even said that in the Discord. I think 2025 is the year that Gable wins singles gold. Finally. I'm putting a stamp
yeah.
on it, putting my name on it.
I not only will triple down, volleying back and forth here with you, I will go as far as say, if this dude finds himself in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match this year, I already have my campaign. Because to me, it's Gable or nothing. Like being very serious with you all, because again, I feel like I'm in rare form today. Ashton again said it perfectly with how WWE relies on him. Keep in mind, this is the same guy that they trusted to get not only the big iconic shot and the Wyatt Six's proper like debut as characters, with seeming like he got shot in the freaking head, but also like their in ring debut was against American Made. WWE knows they can trust this guy to make the people that they want to look good. He made Penta look like $1 million. The stuff he did this week on WWE Speed with Charlie Dempsey was fucking incredible. I mean, this dude's cooking on all cylinders. He's been ready to be a champion for so long. Give him the goddamn ball. So that's really what I wanted to double down on because I look, Penta, I respect him. I like him. I think the peak of my fandom with him was Lucha Underground because it was such a different vibe and a different product. But I am a big time Chad Gable fan, man. You know that. You know I've been rocking with this guy for a while, and I just want to advocate for him at every opportunity. Intercontinental title or Money in the Bank, one or the other this year. Get it fucking done. Everything else, again, you said it perfectly. Nothing really to say there. Um, I gotta say, man, I feel like for me, speaking for me, Seth and Punk are kind of
Oh,
pulling an
before we
inverse.
move on, I do want to just throw this out there.
Yes.
I am going to cop out a little bit because I say singles title. And after that match that we got on Wednesday, I wouldn't even be angry if that singles title is the speed title for Chad.
Yeah, that's fair, man. Because that they cooked. They cooked in 3 fucking minutes. That's insane.
Yeah. And the current speed
Uh,
champion is Dragon Lee, by the way.
yes, yes. Um, okay, yeah. So I was talking about
Seth and Punk.
Seth Punk. Yeah, that to me is kind of an inverse of Punk Drew, because like I've loved the pro. Well, actually, to be fair, I guess I've enjoyed some
Drew even
Drew
got
Punk promos.
involved in it this week.
Yeah, Drew did get involved in it. But I think with Drew Punk, I was going to say that I've liked the promos, but really haven't cared for the matches. But the thing was with Drew Punk, I didn't care for the matches there either. And the promos were okay. They started to drag, but I feel like Seth and Punk. I guess what I really should have said, rather than trying to draw a comparison, is just say that I think these two have done a better job than Drew Punk of keeping that momentum going. I personally didn't care for their match. I even really complained quite vocally about the finish. I hated the finish. Hated it even more when I realized they lifted it from AEW. Yeah, Javaris, I already saw it's fucking over. I'm not even gonna give it any more mind. Um, and so yeah, like I really like their promo on Monday. I thought it was great. I love Seth's line where he said, I've had a lot of losses. I've lost big matches. I've lost title matches. Losing to you was one of the worst losses of my career. And I think he also would say later, like, I'd rather be a worse version of me than any version of you, because I think Punk was kind of rubbing in that, he won that match. So yeah, I think more so on Seth, I'm really liking his character arc in this because he doesn't feel fully healed. And then later in the night, that interaction he had with Sammy, being like, oh, well, what about you, Sammy? What are you going to do? You're just going to help Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble? You're going to help him regain the world title? Like, and again, this whole idea of Sammy having never won a world title himself and Seth kind of asking, are you here for you or are you here for Roman Reigns? I've really enjoyed Seth's fire lately, man.
Yep.
I hope it doesn't go full heel turn, but I'm enjoying it. What did you think about this promo?
Yeah, oh no, I completely agree. I love the entire dynamic of really all four of these guys because Sammy is like the most like pure-hearted of the four, but he's also I think arguably the most foolish of the four. Like he's
Yeah.
the one who's like I'm a good guy and I want to help people, but he's just helping the wrong person now and he's going to kind of get, the wool pulled over his eyes in that way. Um, and then like on the other side of that spectrum, I think is Drew McIntyre, where he's very like, I don't trust anyone, fuck you, but he's also the biggest asshole I think of the group.
Yeah.
So like he's the least naive, the least sort of like gullible, but because of that, he's just a dickhead to everyone. And then Seth and Punk are very much more like gray areas where they're both kind of dickheads, but they're both very right about certain things. Like Seth is very right that Punk wanted to see the WWE fail. He wanted to watch the company die. He wanted to contribute to the company dying. He tried to do that. Like there's like people say, "Oh, I'm so sick of hearing people talk about Punk leaving." It's like, yeah, you might be sick of them talking about Punk leaving, but like let's talk about the fact that like Punk actively was like trying to sue the company, trying to take the company down, and like in my opinion, good. Fuck the WWE. But if you're Seth Rollins and you're employed by WWE and your paycheck depends on them and being able to put food on the table depends on them, somebody trying to make them fail is basically equivalent of trying to take food off your table. So from Seth's perspective, CM Punk tried to take food off his table. And from Punk's perspective, they fired him on his wedding day. Fuck the WWE on that front too. And the only reason that he came back is because of Vince being gone. So, like, there's just so many different perspectives, and I love the nuance to this story. I don't know if WWE has ever told a more nuanced story than this, and it gives me a lot of anxiety that they are going to fumble it hard at some point.
As it should. As it should, just given precedent, given how many decades that you and I have been watching this product and the ebbs and flows we've seen. Yeah, I mean that's an understandable reaction. I think you really recapped the promo well. I think all I'll say left is this is also established that Drew, Punk, and Seth are all going to be in the Rumble. This men's Rumble, just name value wise, is stacked.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it no disrespect to John Cena, because him being in it was huge. I think what put it over the edge though was Roman Reigns being in the fucking Rumble. Like honestly, I'm like, damn, when was the last time you've seen this? Because he's been champion for 3 fucking years. He's had no reason
Well,
to be in
yeah.
the Rumble
and
all this
and
time.
I think 2020 he was he still recovering from the leukemia in the Rumble 2020?
He might have been, yeah, he might have been. So yeah, man, like that men's Rumble. I think from an in-ring standpoint, I'm hoping women's is better, but name value wise, men's Rumble locked it the fuck down. Jesus. So yeah, great opening promo. We already talked.
October 22nd. No, okay. So it was February 25th of 2019 that Reigns returned, revealing that he was in remission.
Okay,
So I'm not sure where he was. Was he in the Royal Rumble in 2020?
I don't believe he was,
That was the
man.
Rumble that Brock started.
Drew won that Rumble, didn't he?
No, yeah, Drew did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no! Roman was feuding with Corbin during that Rumble, and he had a singles match with him, Falls Count Anywhere.
Oh yeah, and that's after that feud. He went to the office and he's like, no, we need to like change the fucking game plan," and thus the Tribal Chief was
That was
born.
the dog food segment. Oh no!
Yeah. So if anything, I guess maybe we should thank Corbin and just the writing at the time. Like all of those things together birthed the Tribal Chief. So like that's pretty cool. Um.
Oh god. Thank Christ that era's over. Jesus.
Yes. So after that promo segment, we already talked about Penta Chad. Judgment Day continued to show tension mainly between Finn and Liv. Man, gone are the days where I thought
Yeah,
these two were secret lovers in the faction, man.
dude,
Now,
what was the point of even teasing that? Like, there were so many weeks in a row where there was so many teases of Finn and Liv shacking it up while Liv was just kind of stringing Dom along. And now it's like not only is Liv just all in on the Dom train, but she and Finn are at each other's throats. Is there going to be like a big secret reveal where it's gonna be like, oh wait, no, actually, they actually are secret lovers. They're just overcompensating by being at each other's throats like this.
Oh, I was even, it's funny you say that because I was even thinking kind of something similar where it's like, what if they just get so angry at each other that it turns into its opposite, and then Dom's like, "What the hell?" As I was this week on NXT, seeing Carmen and Ashanti, suck face. But
God,
we'll
I
get to that a bit
hated
later.
that segment. Ugh.
I love that they're still so codependent.
I
But
know.
yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. Pure Fusion Collective got interviewed. I think WWE realized that this faction wasn't working because they did kind of tease tension because Zoe Stark piped up and said that she's going to be first in line for the women's IC title and she's going to win it. And then DeVille corrected and said one of them will win the title. So I think them, Fatal Influence, we're going back to the drawing board with some of these pieces because you could see the tension. Um, give You know what? I keep asking and it never fucking matters, but you know what? I matter, so I'm gonna keep asking. Push Shayna Baszler, goddammit, to do something other than this fucking shit. Why does she need anybody? Like she's won 2 women's tag titles, I think both with Nia Jax. Then she was running with Rousey.
Dude,
Now this shit. Like,
yeah, it's crazy that they keep on being like, Shayna Baszler can't get over on her own. She needs to be in a group or with a tag team or like, I don't know. What's next? Are they going to give her a fucking heater? Are they going to pair her up with Raquel or some shit? Jesus Christ.
just let her kill people.
Yeah,
Like,
she's the only person ever to eliminate literally everyone in an elimination chamber.
yeah. Yeah. Should have
And
just won the
Becky
fucking title.
pushed for her to win the title at that Mania, and Creative was like, no, no, Becky, you need to retain. And then Becky got pregnant and had to lose the title anyway. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Vince.
I think he
Jesus
literally was
Christ.
like, "But guys, I'm pregnant." Yeah, it's still a preg no. Get the fuck out of our office. And it's like, why? Why? Oh God, nothing matters. Anyway,
I
fucking Kaiser versus
love that
Sheamus.
you're just like nothing matters. God
I
damn it.
mean, I'm tired, man, and I'm
Aren't
old.
we all?
Let me die. Fuck. God, Kaiser versus Sheamus.
God
Kaiser versus
damn it.
Sheamus.
Oh.
I didn't think this was bad. I'm ready for Sheamus to just win that fucking IC title and get
Dude,
Grand
I
Slam,
am
man.
I am so over this entire scene. I really want a good Hoss division in WWE. This ain't it. I mean, Sheamus could potentially be a decent cornerstone of one. Ludwig Kaiser ain't a fucking Hoss. You kidding me? Ludwig Kaiser bores me to fucking tears, honestly.
Yeah,
And he tries so hard to overcompensate for how boring he is by being zesty as fuck, but it doesn't work. He's still boring as hell.
yeah. I mean, I think his in-ring stuff looks good, but I'm not connected with him. Like really to me, oh God, this is gonna sound
When I
like such an
watch
insult.
Ludwig Kaiser,
Yeah,
I think one of two things. I either
yeah,
think, damn, this guy's boring, or damn, this guy needs to calm the fuck down.
yeah. Um, yeah, I really don't mean this as cutting of an insult as it's gonna come out as, but Ludwig Kaiser to me, like, he just still, even with the aesthetic and everything, he still comes off like your prototypical like indie wrestler. And I just don't really feel much of a connection with that at
Dude, it's
33
so
years
funny
old.
you say that way. And like you said about how it's going to come off as so cutting, even though you don't intend for it to. Because like it's only going to come off as that cutting to like me.
Yeah, mm,
And most of the people listening to this are going to be like, what's so bad about that?
dude, I'm too old for pro wrestling. I know.
we're in our own bubble, dude. It's what it really comes down to.
Oh, God, it's
It's
true.
Have you
But
ever heard of Jack Vaughn, the vet Jack Vaughn? I know that TikTok is dead now, but
I've
he had
seen
a
a few clips of him.
yeah, he had this series going that was pro versus amateur or pro versus indie or something like that. And it was like the differences between pro wrestling, which is like something that is designed to actually draw money and get people to keep coming back for more, versus like indie/amateur wrestling, which is like the shit that you see on especially AEW these days, but also like Rev Pro and fucking even to a certain degree like New Japan nowadays to a certain degree, like not necessarily like the like old school like New Japan vets, but like your fucking Ospreys of the world and your fucking Gabe Kids of the world. Like, God, notice how it all comes back to Brit Rest, by the way.
Dude, it's such ass.
But you know what though? It's also like your Ricochets of the world, and like the Zoomer generation, millennial generation wrestlers, like the guys who don't sell and the guys who spam the super kicks and the guys who spam the topes and shit like that. Like it's that type of like indie wrestling where everyone is like, I'm gonna go for a fucking and the NXT generation too, where like I'm gonna go for a pinfall after a move that I do in every single match and have never won a single match with, and they're gonna kick out, and I'm gonna look like they just kicked out of a Kenta Kobashi Death Valley Driver, like or a Burning Hammer rather. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh my fucking god, this is the end of the world. Like that type of indie wrestling, and Kaiser comes off like, to quote Alfred Konuwa, a wrestling ass wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah. I
He's
mean, I
he's tall Ilya. He's tall Ilya Dragunov. That's what it is. He's tall Ilya.
yeah, I don't even really care for Alfred, but I can't argue with him on that point.
No, I said the tall Ilya part.
Well, no, I mean the wrestler part, but I also
Oh,
agree with you about the tall Ilya
I
part.
was
Yeah.
gonna say, give me some credit. That was genius.
Yeah.
He literally
Um.
is though. He's tall Ilya. That's literally what fucking Ludwig is.
Yeah. No, man, it's just not connecting with me. I feel a very strong disconnect with him. I do like Sheamus. I'm still rooting for him to get that IC title, but and then that's saying it while I know Braun Breaker's holding it. So you know how much I'm rooting for Sheamus and his story, so to speak. But yeah, and then he did have a face off with Braun afterwards, but this is kind of a nothing match. I'll tell you what, man, I gotta take care of something real quick that I just noticed. My cat opened the bathroom door. I don't want to let all the heat out. So why don't you talk about the women's intercontinental title, since I think that's something you can talk about
Yeah,
for enough time for me to take care of this. I will
sure
be
thing.
back.
Yeah, this was a really fun match. Really physical. Some of the bumps that these women were taking were unbelievable. The one that stood out to me especially was Lyra did a vertical suplex to Dakota Kai off the apron onto the floor. And it looked to me like it was actually a mistake. Like it looked to me like Lyra was meant, like she intended to suplex Dakota onto the apron, but she lifted her with the wrong arm. And rather than setting her down and correcting with the correct arm, she just said YOLO and dropped her ass on the fucking floor. That was absolutely nuts to me. Dakota hit all of her signature offense. She hit the Kaio kick. She hit the chiropractor. She hit the GTK. None of it mattered because as soon as she hits the GTK, Lyra rolled out of the ring. And eventually, Lyra ended up getting the Nightwing, which got her the win. Crazy good physical match, though. I love how stiff these women were with each other. I was rooting for Dakota, but honestly, once we started picking up news that Becky Lynch was going to be returning for a Mania match, I did kind of start expecting that Lyra would win this, that she would end up being Becky's WrestleMania opponent, and I do genuinely believe that that's where we're headed. I think we're going to get Becky Lyra at Mania. I think we're going to get Charlotte Tiffany at Mania. And it's looking more and more like we're probably even going to get Bailey Roxanne at Mania, honestly. That one I think is a little more up in the air just because that might happen before Mania. But I think at the very least, those other two matches are going to happen. So
Can you just reprise for me what other two matches you think are going to happen? I'll use that as my jumping off point.
Lyra, Becky, and Charlotte Tiffany.
I do agree, dude. I was expecting Becky to come out after this match. I was disappointed that she
Yeah,
didn't.
I actually
Um,
expected it too. I even typed that out in the Discord like the Friday before this Raw, I think, or like the a few days before this Raw. I said Lyra wins the title, and then as she's celebrating her win, Becky's music hits. I expected that fully.
Yeah. Just to give my quick thoughts on the match. Thank you, by the way, for holding it down. I really appreciate you for that. Um, I thought it was good. Again, I think you and I both agree. 'Cause did it make your list too? The apron plex onto the floor.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
pointed out how
supposedly.
crazy that was. Yeah,
Yeah, it made my list for spot of the year right now.
yeah.
I definitely tensed up when I saw that. I agree with Foster though. He pretty much said like good match, but I could have watched for another 5-10 minutes. I did want this to get more time. And really, I was already pissed that it didn't main event. I thought this should have main evented. Um, don't get gun shy now about promoting your women now that you're on Netflix. Now I get that they did, right? Like the Intercontinental title, new title, all that stuff. But like I would have liked to have seen how they would have done that main event spot. So, and with more time. Again, I would even say maybe even 10 more minutes. Oh my God, she opened the door again. God damn it. Cats are wonderful people, but they are a handful.
That is
But yeah,
true.
I mean, this what was that?
I just said that is true.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to hand you the baton again at some point, but I don't want to rush it. So yeah, I mean, I thought this was a
Dude, go
really good
take care
match.
of your bathroom. I don't want you getting too cold. Go heat yourself up. Make sure you stay warm.
All right, all right. So we kind of touched on this match again. I
I feel
do
like we're
co-sign.
skipping things. I feel like we skipped like the Gunta Jey Uso thing
That's actually you know what? When did that come up? That was actually
between
after
it was
Kaiser
between
Sheamus.
Sheamus Ludwig and the Dakota Lyra match.
Actually, according to my recap, that came before the Lyra Dakota match.
Yeah,
Lyra
that's what
Dakota
I just
actually
said.
came after.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
said between Sheamus Ludwig and Dakota Lyra.
Oh, you said okay, yeah, no, no. All right, if you want to talk about that real quick, because we know they're set for Saturday night's main event, I'll go take care of this again. So
Yeah,
I'll be back.
yeah. I thought this was pretty cool. Gunther came out. Um, kind of addressed the Netflix thing, talked about how monumental it was, and uh, of course, he's got to dress it down because he's a heel and he's got to make things that everyone's excited for. He's got to talk down on things that everyone likes and talk shit about them. Um, and he talks shit about the roster, and he um, talk shit about how everyone's fighting over personal drama, who's at the head of the table, who's the best in the world. And of course, he brings it all back to the World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, Jey Uso then comes out, and Jey basically does his yeet thing. And he talked about how Drew McIntyre's behind him, family drama's behind him. So it's just him now. Challenges Gunta one on one for the world title at Saturday night's main event. And Gunta is like, are you for real, bro? And Jay does the yeet thing, and Gunta pretty much dresses him down, talks about like, I really think you're making a mistake here. We fought over the Intercontinental Championship twice, and I beat you twice, and I know what you're capable of. And this is one of the coldest lines of the year, honestly. I might even have to toss this into my quote of the year honorable mentions. Gunta says, I know exactly what you're capable of, and it's a whole lot less than what I'm capable of. Whew, whew, roasted him with that one. That's a nasty fucking line right there. Uh, and he gives him credit for being funny and entertaining and all that kind of stuff. But then he says, when that bell rings, I'll expose you for what you really are, a really talented tag team wrestler. Oh my God, Gunther is back on his bullshit with these lines. Jesus Christ. Uh, tells Jay he's not on his level. Tells him, to you, a main event's just a nickname, but to me, it's a place where I belong. And then again, he tells him to think about it, tells him to stick to his yeet and stay out of championship business. Says that it's fine with him, Saturday night's main event, whatever, but it's up to Jay. And then he walks out, and as he's walking out, Jay stops him, turns him around, tells him, I see everything you're saying, and you're right. You're better than me. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be in this spot. I'm not supposed to sell all this merchandise. I'm just a tag team guy. He was scared to do it alone. He was scared to step out and do it all by himself, but he wakes up every morning betting on himself because he's trying to earn his respect. And I got to emphasize, his delivery on this was fantastic. So much babyface fire, so much passion really, really believed that he was really saying this from the heart. Great stuff. But yeah, he did fully go through with challenging and wanting to go through with the Saturday night's main event world championship match with Gunta. He said, "It's not just a nickname; it's where I belong. And if you want Jey Uso to be the world heavyweight championship, let this fool know in 1, 2, 3." And then everyone in the crowd yeeted. It was really cool, really awesome, fun segment. John, are you back yet?
Yeah, I was just gonna co-sign and say this was a fun segment. I enjoy going through in Jay's matches. I do feel like it's kind of a waste to have this on a Saturday night's main event. I would just prefer this to be at a Rumble since Gunther doesn't have a scheduled opponent. But it should be a fun matchup. I know we won't be reacting to that Saturday night's main event because the last time we live reacted, the commercials were abysmal. So this is
Yes.
going to be a really fun matchup to watch with you and the gang. Should be a great time. And yeah, Jay, man, he's just really figured himself out. I think he's very self assured, very confident as a babyface. You love to see that. And yeah, I'm very happy for him. And I've praised Gunther up and down. Literally pick an episode, guys, and you'll know how much I love the dude. So I wanted to give Jay more shine here because this felt more like his moment than a Gunther moment. Um, Already talked about the women's Intercontinental title if we're going chronologically. Miz versus Sami Zayn. This came about because of a backstage segment. Sami Zayn kind of wanted to talk to Adam Pearce about something. I think Miz kind of, jaw jacked about Sami never winning a world title. And they kind of traded verbal barbs and then it became like in ring barbs. And yeah, this is a fine enough match. I mean, Miz is a company guy through and through. He's been there forever.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn, consummate pro. Not really much to say. It was an easy win for Sami. Haluva kick, Blue Thunder Bomb combo. I
I
actually like
love
that
that
combo.
Sammy actually got the win with the Blue Thunder Bomb.
Yeah, which
He
I
could
like
have
it too, though,
pinned
because
him.
yeah,
He could have pinned him with the haluva kick, but he said, "Nah, you get to lose to my Blue Thunder Bomb."
I think if there are guys that would be uncomfortable taking a top rope brainbuster spot, that should be your finish. That should absolutely be your finish. Of just hit this, then big blue thunder bomb, and then yeah. So I after that, let's see what came after that. Rhea Ripley. Oh God, this was another thing I was kind of negative on, man. So Rhea's talking about that she's the world champion again, and Rhea Bloody Ripley, mommy's on top, like all the usual stuff. And whose music fucking hits because we're doing fucking open trades and wormholes and all that shit? Fucking Nia Jax. Dude, putting aside the stuff about Nia, just the criticisms and everything, which is a big thing to put aside, we already did this. And you already peaked with this by having a match in Rhea's home turf of Australia, right? And she fucking wins with, I think, a riptide spot from, I don't know if it was the middle rope or if it was a standard riptide. She got a riptide to win. And it was a cool visual, a cool spot in front of her people. You fucking peaked. Like, there's nothing more you can do retreading this ground. Because if the point is to get the babyface over, which it fucking should be when that babyface in question is Rhea Ripley, why the fuck are we doing this again? She's proven she can beat you. She's proven she can beat you decisively. And there's just no point. And then like, oh, God, she came out and Nia was talking to her. I was like, oh, I was hearing all this and I just had to come out because we know there's no more dominant woman in this division than me. And it's like, I'm literally holding the title and I've literally beaten you. So beyond Nia just being awful and me not wanting anything to do with this, it's already been done.
Yep.
And again, you already did the best you could possibly do it. So I hated this. Now, what did get me interested, because Bailey's got her hand in a lot of pots right now. She comes in because I think this was in San Diego or something. It was in California.
It was in San
I
Jose.
know
That's
San
Bailey's
Jose
hometown.
because we know Punk acknowledged the wildfires in LA, and Ray had a match with Kevin Owens this Friday, which we'll get to that later
That
in the
was in
show.
San Diego.
And that was in San Diego. So, we'll get to that later in the
Yeah,
show.
Raw this week was in San Jose. SmackDown was in San Diego.
Right. So Bailey more or less comes out, stands up to Nia Jax. They get in a skirmish. Her and Rhea kind of double team. But I love the glances that Bailey steals at
Yeah.
Rhea's Raw Women's World Championship.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you, the agenda for me is still absolutely Io versus Rhea for the title at Mania. But I'll tell you what, now I want Io to get there by her and Bailey being the final two in the Women's Rumble.
Whew.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, like
that was rough.
because well, hey, between me and Mark and you, I know we've got a lot of like hardcore Bailey fans here, or just people that really respect Bailey. We got to book her shit better than WWE does half the time. So yeah, I would absolutely have that be the final two, and then Io comes out on top of that time, given that Bailey did win at Mania. And then you get some juice back in there. But yeah, her stealing those glances, man, that shit got me hyped. So it went from, oh dear God, why are we doing this? To, oh my God, are we actually doing this? In the same segment. Do you have anything you want to say about this?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, Bailey
I
is a
thought
very
Bailey's promo on Nia was cringe as fuck.
yeah, her babyface stuff can still be a bit rough on the mic. But you know what though? Nia really doesn't deserve effort, so I'm willing to let it slide. Um But yeah, so that was that. Bailey is one of the most busy women in WWE right now because she did
She
that.
was
She had
on
her title match
all
with Tiffany on Friday.
three shows this week.
Yeah, it seems like her big program is going to be with Roxanne, and I am not complaining. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about. I hope Bailey and Rhea revisit each other real soon.
Yeah.
So we will see how that goes. Then we got the Street Fight main event, which I talked about at the beginning of the show, getting all the negative out of the way. So now let's move on to NXT.
All right.
We open with the God
Did we
King.
talk about
Oba
SmackDown already?
no, I was just going in chronological order of the shows. Do you want to
Ah,
talk about SmackDown before NXT?
no, we don't have to. It's fine.
Oh, okay. No, because I was just gonna say we open with Oba Femi looking fine as hell. I mean, always, but especially with that NXT championship. What did
Bro,
you think
he
about his
quoted
promo snipping?
Thanos.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Um, he is just absolutely magnificent. I already like it didn't take much for me to buy him as champion, but as far as like the aura, the carrying yourself, this and that, dude, I can't wait for him to swap out that NXT title with the WWE title.
Yeah.
And yeah, I said
I
WWE
can
title.
wait because I want him to have a nice, long, sexy NXT title run.
Well, I mean, the sexy part he'd have on lock even if he dropped the title tomorrow. But I get your point, good sir. And you know what? Well noted. But yeah, he brims with confidence. He feels like he belongs in that spot because he does. And I just can't say enough good about Oba. I love that Tony interrupted because it makes logical sense as one of the few people to just beat Oba
Yes.
and to be in his head
Logic
here.
in my wrestling. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, and Tony reminded him of exactly that. That I was the one that took this North American title from you, and when I'm ready, I'm looking forward to being double title Don. And I gotta tell you, the alliterative, I dig it, man. I dig it. Um, and then Femi, you know, he gives Tony his props, but then he says, last I checked, you got your ass dropped by Santa Claus, mentioning Ridge Holland. And then Tony says, like, hey, I'll take care of Ridge when the time is right. Ridge comes out and I won't even say he dragged the segment down, but I just want Oba to have things. Like first it was fucking Eddie Thorpius. Now it's fucking Ridge Holland kind of encroaching on that turf. But to be fair to Ridge, he didn't even mention Oba. He didn't even intimate that he was ever going to go after Oba. He kept his focus firmly locked on Tony, which I like, not even because I feel like Oba should sweat Ridge or whatever, but because Ridge already had his shot at the main event scene when Trick was champion, he lost. So it makes logical sense to me that you would focus on the title that you can actually win. And him and Tony get into a scuffle almost immediately because again, he gives Tony a gag gift of a framed picture of him laying Tony out, which I thought was a good bit. And as Oba's kind of watching this and being like, huh, that happened, and about to once again revel in his own dominance, Thorpe comes out and he lays Oba. Now I want to ask you a serious question, man, because I think you and I both are huge Oba fans, but I know you are locked in on this fucking dude, right? So I think you're a good guy to ask. You feel like how can I put this? You feel like they're going to try and overcorrect and make Oba maybe a bit too vulnerable during his title reign. Because I didn't like how easily Eddie seemed to take Oba out here, and I was curious what you thought about all that.
I agree. I also was upset about it.
Okay, so I'm not hyperbolic in your mind. You're with me on this. That's
Yeah.
good. Because it just seemed like it was a strap that he wrapped around his fist, and I would have liked. See, if you had to have Eddie get the jump on Oba, to me, well, first of all, I wouldn't have done it because I wouldn't have pushed Eddie Thor. But since we're already past that, right? And since it's like, okay, we're in it now, I would have maybe done the strap punch, but then have Oba no sell it and kind of look at him like, are you serious? And then Eddie just goes straight for the balls, just straight low blow, and then he's able to get the stuff. The idea that the whole strap laced fist and that whole knockout, and then I don't know if he used the championship again. I don't think he did. I think it was just the leather strap the whole time, which for a second, I actually thought that this was going to lead to a strap match between Eddie and Oba. But it seems like next week is just going to be a regular match, and I'm fine with that. You know, you don't need to give any trappings to this. I just want Oba to win and move the fuck on. Um, so I just felt like Oba sold a little too much here for me, given the nature of the weapon. It didn't seem like that big of a deal to me.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's the thing. Is like if it would have been like a lead pipe, justified, but it's a leather fucking strap.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And the initial jump from behind again, I think was just a back shot from what I remember correctly, which
yeah,
I mean, Oba is toned the fuck out. So I'm like,
yeah, like wrap a leather strap around your fist and punch a memory foam pillow, and then take the leather strap off and punch the same memory foam pillow, and tell me if there's a goddamn difference. I promise there won't be much of one. Because
yeah,
here's a little secret: leather is just toughened up animal hide. It's barely tougher than skin. It barely hurts more than fucking skin.
yeah.
So someone's gonna have to explain that one to me.
But and on the other hand, I don't know if they're doing this kind of stuff because maybe they are wanting to switch Oba to babyface, and so to be
Yeah, that's
babyface,
probably what it
you
is.
know,
Honestly, the fact that he's feuding with Thorpe in the first
yeah,
place is very babyface already.
yeah. So I don't know. I didn't really care for this. But I will say I liked later in the show just to kind of tie these threads together. How Oba kind of manhandled Robert Stone for Robert Stone actually felt like he was in a place to give Oba advice. How many world titles have your clients ever won? How many championships period have your clients ever won? Maybe sit down, okay? And Oba just let Robert Stone know what's what. Like, I'm the champion. I said I want Eddie Thorpe. I get Eddie Thorpe. I love a champion, especially if he's going babyface, that is picking the fights that he wants, but not in a cowardly way. Like, no, this dude fucked with me. He questioned my honor. He questioned my credibility, whatever. Give me him. Give me him, and I'll give him back to you, but I'll give him back to you in pieces because I'll break him apart. Like, I don't know. I love Oba's energy as fucking champion. So we are getting that match next week. Be happy to get it over with. And move on to the next one, whoever the next one is going to be. We know, unfortunately, for right now, it's not going to be Javon Evans because he's busy doing this fucking shit with Ethan Page. Ethan Page was in the locker room bragging about his interaction with Dwayne last week. And Dante Chen, who I don't even really know how I feel about Dante Chen, to be honest, because it's just we are so intermittently exposed to him. I can't really get a baseline for how I feel.
I like Dante Chen.
I think I veer towards liking him, but jury's still out for me. Um, Chen stands up to Paige. Paige is like, "Oh, what's your problem?" And he kind of brags about everything he's done. Breaking Cedric's fingers, obviously Javon's jaw, this and that. And then Chen says, "Look, I'll go to Ava. I'll take care of this right now. I'm going to get a match with you tonight." And so that kind of sets up that. Speaking of matches, we finally get our first official match: Shotzi versus Stephanie Vaquer. What do you think about this one, bud?
I think I actually paid very little attention to this one. Unfortunately, it's kind of a shame too because I was looking forward to it. I might have just been out of the room or something, but I don't remember this match at all.
It seemed like a pretty solid back and forth.
I
Fatal
was
influence.
stunned to find out that Shotzi won. I know that. I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
They did protect Stephanie though because it was interference from Fatal Influence.
Of course it was.
Fallon hit Stephanie in the back with the Women's North American Championship, and that allowed Shotzi to roll her up. Shotzi, though, protects her baby faceness by, she didn't know what happened. And both her and Vaquer were looking like, what the heck, when Fatal Influence, leaving particularly more so Shotzi because Stephanie already knew what happened. She got hit in the back. So Shotzi is going to face Fallon, I believe, in 2 weeks. So that should be interesting. I might be getting those title matches flipped. It might be the world title in 2 weeks and then Women's North American next week. But I do think it's Women's North American in 2 weeks, Eddie Thorpe and Oba next week. So after that, though, which is
I
a
think
pretty solid match.
honestly, this is just an example of HBK trying a little too fucking hard to get cutesy with his booking, trying to keep Stephanie strong when he really just wanted to do the Shotzi match first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
just
yeah.
I don't know if I would call this like trying to do too much or low key, maybe even just being like creatively bankrupt.
Yeah, man, that I did not care for this. Just in the sense of I was definitely because I know like you and Javaris were kind of hashing out points. I was more in Javaris's camp in the sense of they build it as a number one contenders match. I get that Shotzi pinned Fallon, and I do think she deserves a shot for that, but you could have spaced things out. I personally would have saved Stephanie for a PLE anyway. But now we did this whole thing, and it's whatever. The only good thing, and I will say this, is if you're the heels, like you're very clearly telegraphing that you find Vaquer to be the bigger threat because she was the one that got hit with the championship. So that should telegraph to the
Which is
audience.
also just dumb to me because, like, again, Shotzi is the one who pinned Fallon.
Yeah,
Stephanie might be like scary lady who wears devil horns, whatever, but like the actual champion in your faction was literally pinned by Shotzi. Why are you not
yeah,
threatened by her?
yeah.
I don't understand this shit, bro.
Yeah, I think it was for me. It was trying to do too much. You could have very easily spaced this stuff out, or just not had. But then again, I wouldn't have wanted the baby faces to lose to Fatal Influence because I like Tatum, and I like all three. I shouldn't even say that I
I
like
mean,
two and dislike another, but yeah, I like
Fallon
it.
didn't have to get pinned in that match.
That's also true. It could have,
Jasmine could have
yeah,
gotten pinned by Shotzi and it would have been just fine.
yeah.
Then we
After
could
this,
have, but they did. That's the thing though, is that like clearly Sean brought Shotzi down to NXT to do a North American title match where she puts over puts over Fallon Henley.
yes,
Like that's she wouldn't be here if that wasn't the plan, right?
right.
So this is just how he wanted to get there. I think it's goofy as fuck. I think it's convoluted as fuck, but it's whatever.
We continue with the women's division. Stephanie kind of stalking the backstage area, I think looking for Fallon. She finds JC in a makeup chair, and I'm actually surprised she didn't brawl with her, but just kind of like shoves her, kind of roughs her up a bit. We have no idea what's said because it was a picture in picture segment, which
I loved this segment so fucking much.
I put this in my WT because I'm like, what are you doing with this being picture in picture? Like,
That's what I loved about it though, because here's the thing: we know that Steph does not speak fluent English. She barely speaks a lick of English at all, and what she does speak is difficult to understand because of how thick her Spanish accent is. Oh my god! Overcome that by having her do physical acting in picture-in-picture segments. I thought this was brilliant. I loved this.
you know what? You put in the logic in that way. I'm going to remove this in the running for my WTF moment of the year because I thought it was structured so weird, like giving this the picture in picture treatment, but you explaining it that way, I'll redact it. I
I
think
just
that
love
is
how
clever.
menacing
Yeah.
she came off. Like she's just walking through the locker room, staring at people. Everyone's backing off. Like, oh my god! It was like maybe not quite the level of like that Stone Cold segment on SmackDown where everyone like parted like the Red Sea so he could get into the ring, but like maybe like 80% of that vibe.
And just because again, I try and be judicious. I know I've had a lot of vinegar in me tonight, mainly because of AEW and shit. I'll even give Ethan credit because even he sold being intimidated by her.
Dude, yeah. And then
Yeah.
they transitioned into his entrance.
Yeah, I thought that was well done. That
Yeah,
I liked. That I very much liked.
yeah.
Because you don't want to no sell it. You're all in that locker room together. You should all be trying to get each other over, not just yourselves over.
Yep.
So, yeah, I very very curious what's going to happen with Stephanie now. I like that she finally does take an L, but it's such a protected L. That in NXT's mind, she's probably going to be the next women's champion after Julia,
Oh yeah, that
unless
is the weird
something.
thing too. This was Stephanie's first loss.
Yes.
To
Yes.
Shotzi Blackheart of all people.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
Shotzi give Shayna her first loss in NXT too?
Did she? I'm not sure because I
I
always
don't
thought that was
remember if it was her
Kyrie. I
first
thought that
loss,
was
but she did. I think she like eliminated Shayna from a battle royal or something. That was like a big deal.
yeah. So after that, again, still following up with the women because I mean, credit to Sean, like he knows how to lean into his women for better or for worse. Like he is promoting them. We get a backstage segment. Zarya, who I never watched her career in Australia or anything, so, like, again, I'm just talking out my ass here. I just thought that her presentation would be different. She feels like one of the girls, not necessarily in a bad way, because in the ring, she's still like a hoss. It's just weird seeing her mingling with her coworkers like this to me. I didn't expect that because, like, her whole vibe when the lights would go out and then they would just be looking at Zarya, like, whether it was Fatal Influence or I think she actually did interrupt, Julia and Stephanie when they won their tag match at Halloween Havoc. It's like, oh man, like this is gonna be female Brock Lesnar almost or something like that. And here she is, just like talking, giving advice to Kalani, bonding with Sol Ruka. It's just I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting. But she tells Kalani to use her losses as motivation. Cora keeps stirring the pot with Kalani and antagonizing her, saying, you're just still the same little girl that left Michigan State. And then Kalani slapped Cora and said, I'm not the same girl, and left.
Dude,
Man, nobody loses it like Kalani.
this segment was cringe.
Yeah, I want to like Kalani, man, but the when she talks, I just
I no, and here's the thing though. I think she can talk. I just don't think she can act.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you ask her to just cut like a promo from the heart, maybe bullet points, whatever. But when you ask her to act outside of her own character, like outside of her own personality and temperament, oh my god, we get this. What the fuck?
Yeah, well said. Well said. Uh,
That's why dude, this is why though. I'm telling you, we might not be the type of people that are going to be like really good full-time bookers if we were saddled with that type of job, but oh my god, do we have amazing ideas sometimes, because they should have fucking run with Kalani Jordan delusional heel, like Bo Dallas style heel, while she had that North American title, because she could have pulled it off so fucking easily, because she can do deadpan line delivery easily. She's great at it, and she could have been like really fucking mean to people without necessarily realizing that she was being really fucking mean to people. Like
yeah,
even going
exactly.
back to
Yeah,
like the like dolls are for children line to Tatum, that was really fucking mean. But her delivery, it was like clear that she didn't mean for it to be mean. Like that type of shit would have worked so well for her to be a heel, and they just totally skipped over it.
yeah, yeah.
And you know what, Alex? I miss Ariana Grace too in a major way. I see random stuff of her sometimes online, like on Reddit and stuff, and it just makes me want to see her actually on my TV again.
Yeah, yeah. I really miss her too, and I hope she comes back soon-ish. Because yeah, I feel like she has so much more to give to the division. Hopefully that day comes. We get Ethan Page versus Dante Chen. Nothing matchup. Page finishes it relatively quickly with the twist of fate, which he's been using lately as his finisher. Cool, whatever. Afterwards, he gets another injury. I think it was like Chen's ankle or something. It was something foot related. Because he like drop kicks the steel steps into it after he traps it. Chen tries to sell it. I send the Discord, yeah, Dante, I'd be screaming in agony if I had to work with Ethan Page too. Then afterwards, Javon tried to get some revenge on Ethan. Ethan punched him in the mouth, though, and oh no, that was where he was injured. And he starts oozing blood again from the mouth as Ethan gets up in his face and he says, smile for me, Javon. Smile for me. Smile for me. This might also be a candidate for me for worst feud of the year, just because I'm hating how this is making Javon look, and it seems to me like it's stifling all of his momentum. So in fact, while I'm thinking about that, let me add it in real time, everybody, because that'll be fun. That'll take some of the fucking pain away. So yeah, honestly, the sooner they do their fucking match, the better. Um, I just want Javon to move on from this. I want him to go after literally anything. Go after the North American Championship if Ridge ends up winning it. Go after the world title at some point with Obafemi holding it. Just do anything other than this. Ethan Page is fucking radioactive. 2 pushes. Clearly, that is what I've learned through this whole agonizing experience. Um, I do want to mention one thing about the Obafemi Sean Robert Stone, excuse me, Robert Stone thing, and that's that I didn't mention the coolest part. Well, it's debatable what the coolest part was, but one cool part of it was that Dion Lennox does congratulate Oba, and then he says, "One day I'm going to challenge you for that title," and Oba doesn't even mock him. He's like, "Huh, you know, maybe," and he walks up. Love it. I really hope. I mean, I don't like to believe in coincidences or accidents or anything like that in wrestling. If you planted that line there, I am going to assume that you did it for a reason. So now I am looking at Dion Lennox a lot more closely in NXT this year than I was before because giving him that little rub with the champion I thought was cool as hell. And so yeah, I really, really, really like this. I thought that was cool. And I love that Oba didn't mock it again. I just love how this dude's carrying himself as champion because I think really for him, it's I don't even know if he believes that anybody's an unworthy challenger. It's just that he's so great of a champion, it doesn't even matter your worthiness. I'm gonna come out on top every time. And I love that confidence.
Yeah.
So then we get a guy that I think is just a slightly, imperceptibly for me above Ethan Page, Sean fucking Spears.
I
Talking,
disagree with you on that. It's the opposite for me. I definitely rank Ethan Page above Sean Spears. I cannot stand Sean Spears. This dude can fuck all the way off.
you know what? I don't. It's not even a debate, man. This isn't something where this isn't even a hill, right? I'm not dying for anything of this shit. It's a pile of shit.
I think
So
that's the thing,
yeah,
though. I think Ethan Page is really mediocre from a talent perspective, but I think his heart's at least in the right place, and he at least tries to do good business. Sean Spears, I don't even know if I can say that about. I think this dude just sucks.
you know what? And again, I'm not interested in fighting you on it. I totally get it. He fucking blows. I just really cannot fucking stand Ethan Page either on my side of the table.
Yeah, I get it.
So he was talking to
Yeah, I think my biggest
Rizzo.
problem with Ethan Page was the over pushing, which seems to be over with now, thankfully, hopefully.
Maybe. I don't know.
We
Nobody
hope.
knows.
Yeah.
I mean, he just had an interaction with fucking The Rock last week, so who even fucking knows?
Yeah, that's fair. And he called him
Um,
DJ this week.
let it end. Let my pain end. Sean Spears talking to Rizzo again. I do the fucking thing. Get a job. Stay away from her again.
Leave
Fucking
women
every
alone, you creep.
dude. He's so bulbous and weird. Like, what the fuck is going? You're married. Like, how the fuck did that even?
To
Whatever.
Peyton Royce.
I I don't. Yeah, yeah. Fucking goddamn. So Izzy Dame came in and actually stood up for Rizzo, women supporting women. Wow. Shawn fucking Michaels. Shawn fucking Michaels. And we know the shit he got up to in his DX fucking days, like late 90s DX days, being more progressive with the presentation of women than fucking AEW is in 2025. As I live and fucking breathe. Rizzo said she didn't need Dame to do that, but Dame made some kind of an allusion to like, you tell the Don, we're even. So I wonder if that's going to be a bigger thing now. Like, what
Oh,
favor
I
did the
didn't
Don
catch
do for you?
that.
Yeah, no, she said she did it because the family did her a favor. So now they're
Oh,
square.
I wonder what that favor was, though.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to be very curious how that goes. And yeah, I like Izzy Dame. I know you like Izzy Dame, so hopefully it's good stuff for her. Then we get the Carmen Ashanti stuff. Shanti's ready to settle down, gives her a rose, like I'm 100% committed to this. And then Carmen's like, about time. And legitimately, because I'm a weirdo, as this was happening, and thank God we weren't recording, I did a Booker T voice and all, and I said, "What the hell?" as I saw it because I was so taken aback by it, and I really I didn't know how I felt about it. But again, I love because I'm a raccoon at heart and I love trash. So I love that they're codependent. I love that this relationship has 100% fail rate, guaranteed.
Oh,
Uh,
apparently Tony D told Spears to leave Izzy alone.
oh, you know what? That's right. I remember that segment. I remember. Okay, okay. So that's cool. Can you imagine if Tony wanted Izzy in the family and that caused tension between her and Riz? That would be weird. I
No,
don't
I
even know
want
if I
her
like
and
that,
Riz
but
to team up.
that's not happening.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I'm just, being honest. Uh, so
Uh,
it seems like Carmen and Ashanti are gonna give this an honest shot. We'll see how it goes. Um, yeah,
she's
we
gonna
we
catch
re-
him making out with Nikita.
you think that's gonna happen? That might happen, man. We don't know. We don't know because we didn't see Nikita this week. That was another positive about NXT this week, addition by subtraction.
Wait,
Um,
I thought we did though. No, I guess we didn't. Never mind.
yeah, I was pretty attentive to NXT this week. Probably the most attentive I was to any wrestling this week.
Good
So
decision. Proud of you.
yeah, I know, but I'm glad I'm still capable of them because my AEW tendencies lately have me
But
questioning.
then we got fucking Fraxium next, didn't we?
No. According to my recap thing, we got a recap of Julia and Roxanne, their matchup, and we are gonna see Julia
Oh.
next week. I know that kind of was heartbreaking for Javaris.
Oh
He wanted to see his
yeah.
women's
And
title
then
this week.
DIY showed up in the back for some reason.
Oh, I might have missed this. This might have been a point where I was out. Yeah, you're right. Because they said that Fraxium are the best. That people say that Fraxium are the best team in WWE. I'd love to know which people because I haven't said that. I would still say Street Profits if you actually fucking
I
push
mean,
them.
to
But,
be fair, a lot of people gave Fraxium Tag Team of the Year 2024. That's a real thing.
that's yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. Gargano said they want to see what Fraxium's capable of. And Ciampa said that they aren't there to cause any problems, so you can trust them. Yeah, Ciampa, I remember when you used to be menacing, like the talk of fucking not just NXT, but WWE and maybe even the industry. And God, I miss those days. I miss when I was really rapidly behind you, and now I just cringe whenever you and Gargano are on my screen. Um, so after that, things that didn't make me cringe, fucking Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus Unholy Union. I had a lot of fun with this tag match. I like the Meta
Oh,
Girls.
good. You can carry the load here because Unholy Union bore me.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's be clear. I had fun with it because I just really love the Meta Girls, Lash and Jakara. And
That's fair.
Jakara, I have to
Jakara's
give,
all
yeah,
right. I like Jakara to like a degree. Lash is a fucking star, man. I love her.
dude, I gotta give, since we already give Lash like enough props, I just want to give Jakara her flowers for a second. I do feel like she's gotten better in the ring, man, being in this tag team. I think her stuff looks better than it used to. I think she's moving with more confidence. I like her, man. I really like this team. I like this team to the point where I want them to beat Bianca and Naomi for the women's tag
I would
titles.
love that, honestly. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I think it'd
A,
be a
a
great
call
push
up
for
would be dope, honestly. Like, let them stay on Raw and SmackDown.
Fuck yeah, like especially and this is where I'll go back to glazing Lash a little bit. Like, nah, she's ready for main roster. Booker T, I think, even explicitly said it on commentary, which was wild to me. That he would go that far. And just say it's just ready. But he's right. He's right. I do absolutely think that she is ready for prime time. And I'd love to see Lash in that spot because when you're talking about a future women's champion that I think I'd love to see if Lash with people would be a legitimate draw. Like that's definitely her. They win their match against Unholy Union,
Yeah.
so they are the number one contenders. I do wonder when they'll get their title shot. It'd be interesting if that would be another Saturday night's main event kind of matchup, bro, because we know that the last one had a few championship matches. So
Oh, don't we have that coming up on this coming episode of NXT?
do we? Great, yeah, great. Because I was even going to say Saturday
Yeah,
night's main
because
event was
Bianca and Naomi just successfully retained against Nia and Candice on SmackDown yesterday.
yeah, yeah. Um, Cora versus Kalani. I predicted Cora was going to win. I was right. This
Yeah,
is
you
pretty
were.
much it was pretty much a basic matchup.
But
Cora
she's
wins.
not that same girl.
Well, nobody loses like Lonnie, so I guess she's
Ooh.
right. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, no, yeah, she's not that same girl because that girl was a champion.
Yeah, you regressed because Cora
Speaking of
got a knee.
champions, Masha Slamovich was in the crowd.
Yes, she was, and she's a fucking stud too. Definitely want
Oh,
more Masha Slamovich in my life in 2025. That's for
hell
damn sure,
yeah! We got to see her on the TJPW show last week
bro.
or
For
two
some
weeks ago.
reason, Yeah, for some reason, I'm sorry, this is just a case of me being old. I thought you were gonna have your excited voice. We got to see her on the TV, and I was getting ready to pop, and then you finished and said TJPW, and I'm like, that's right, bud, we did. And I was gonna send you to the corner, but it's clear that I need to go in the corner. Uh, so yes, yeah, God, I really, God, when will I be put out to pasture?
Do
Not
you know
soon
that there's
enough.
a video game called You Suck at Parking?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. That's
Yeah,
probably everything. I did
it's
not know that was the thing though.
yeah. It's literally just like like think like how there are like those like micro machines games where you literally just like drive like micro machine style. It's like left and right, go left and right, and straight forward, go straight forward, but you can't
Yeah,
reverse.
yeah.
Yeah, it's that, but there are like little like random ass squares that you want to try and stop your car in, but you can't reverse because stopping is reversing, and it's like it's like high difficulty shit. It's crazy.
After this, oh God.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we need to set the scene a little bit with this. So Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura, they approach Fraxium, and Briggs says, we saved you guys during the brawl in the parking lot, so pretty much we had you. Now we got next. So pretty much like we scratched your back, you got to scratch our backs. Fraxium more or less says, that's fine, whatever. Um, OTM then argued with Briggs and Inamura, saying, we've been ready for this since day one. Like tonight's our night, and you're going to step to us. We'll drag you through the mud. That begins a brawl between the two teams, and I side because I'm like, oh God, what if they're not winning? Because what if they use this brawl as like OTM wasn't at 100%? Um, that wasn't entirely the case, and unfortunately, I say entirely, and not that wasn't the case at all because Fraxium would retain against OTM, and I am just so tired of this title reign. I really wanted OTM to win this, man. I thought this was a fun match. I like OTM as a team. Fraxium isn't even bad in the ring. It's just I've never really
I
connected with these
disagree.
guys.
I think Axiom isn't bad in the ring. I think Nathan Frazier fucking sucks.
Damn.
I think Nathan Frazier is a really good athlete, and he's like all the criticisms that you used to hear about Jeff Hardy about like how oh yeah he'd be one hell of a gymnast, he'd be one hell of like a what are those people at the circus that like do the gymnastic things.
Acrobats?
Yeah, he'd be one hell of an acrobat in a circus, but he's not a wrestler. To me, that's Nathan Frazier. That's like to a T Nathan Frazier because this dude's psychology is in the mud. This dude's selling is in the mud. This dude is like a little fucking spaz who just runs the ropes really fast, and that's about it. Like he runs fast and he jumps high, and what the fuck else does he do? Nothing.
Well, unfortunately, he did get out the mud with his share of the tag titles because
And I
they
will
fucking
also say,
yeah.
I think Axiom is a good wrestler, but I also think that he has major Kushida syndrome where it's like
Yes.
I'm gonna reverse everything you do and I'm gonna kick out of everything you do to me.
Bro, I got those vibes out the ass at fucking Deadline
Yeah.
when like, fuck.
So we've got
Uh,
a Kushida and a Jeff Hardy in a tag team.
and bro, like, so putting that aside, because again, I definitely respect that view. I'm not gonna fight it. It's fucking Fraxium. They're not worth fighting over. Um, I wanted OTM to win. I think you were rooting for OTM as well.
Oh yeah.
I really do like how these guys have
But then
developed.
again,
I
I've been
remember,
rooting for like 90% of the teams that have challenged Fraxium since Fraxium won the damn titles.
yeah, yeah.
Fraxium, I think Fraxium are garbage.
Yeah, dude. I'd be lying to you if I said I've completely healed from NQCC losing at deadline. I really, really wanted fucking Tavion and Miles
Miles.
to win those titles. I really did. And now I'm in a position where I continue to hate the tag division in NXT. Literally, that's the weakest joint in the game to me for NXT as the tag division. Because now Briggs and Inamura might challenge, and I don't care. I don't really. Briggs, I thought might have had something as a singles guy. I'm just kind of over it. I'm wondering if Jensen got released because I feel like I haven't seen him in a while. Um, which I'm not complaining. I had my little spark of
Right?
hope in that guy, and like that just didn't go anywhere. And so yeah, I'm just kind of over it. with all that. And then Inamura, like, I don't really have an opinion, but the whole like, oh, you said this one thing and I interpreted it as this thing, like the mud thing. When he was like, "Oh, mud wrestling? Oh, you guys are crazy." Like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't really connect with me. You've used the cringe. If I could speak, Jesus, you've used the word cringe. I think on two separate segments on this show. I would use cringe here. I kind of cringed at that. I'm like, really? We're doing the whole foreigner, like, oh, you think he means one thing, but it's actually this thing kind of thing. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, I just continue to roll my eyes at this goddamn division. I don't know what NXT sees in Fraxium because they won the titles one time. They had a pretty decent reign there, and then they lost them, and then they quickly got them back. And now this reign is still going. What tag team are we waiting for? Because to me, Miles and Tavion and OTM were the two best teams to beat these guys. And now they've both lost. Like, what are we gonna have fucking retread fucking Gallus? Like, nobody wants to see that fucking
Oh,
shit.
geez, we literally just did that in December too.
Yeah.
Like we're like
So
not even barely a month removed from that.
yeah, the whole tag division is just grown worthy to me. Again, save for a few teams, and those teams are losing, and it's just pain. It's just
I
pain
mean,
all the
dude,
way
they
around.
literally worked it into a story where Ava had a little sit down conference with NXT's tag division, and that's what led to Miles and Tavion challenging, and they still didn't win. Christ.
Foster making an educated assumption. He says he thinks the new Tyson and Tyreek will do it. Fine, I'll take it. I like those guys. I prefer them as
Any Tyson
babyface.
and Tyreek is better than Fraxium.
Beg pardon?
Any version of Tyson and Tyreek is better than Fraxium.
And I do agree. Again, I prefer them as babyface, and I've been rather vocal about that on here. But I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, get it off the goddamn dweebs. Okay, main event segment. Roxanne Perez and her stuff with Bailey this week. What did we think about this? Okay, let me ask you this just up front. I don't mean this as like a fantasy booking thing. I just like finger on the pulse, taking temperature thing. Do we think this is enough legs to take us all the way to Mania? Bailey and Roxanne?
See,
Or do you
that's
think that
what I was like kind of wavering on because I was really under the impression that this was going to be like a Vengeance Day thing.
yeah.
But then I'm like, is Bailey going to be on Vengeance Day? Because that would feel kind of weird to have someone of the caliber of Bailey on an NXT PLE. I don't know. But then it would also feel really weird to have Roxanne Perez, who's great. No, taking that away. She's awesome. But like, I don't think she's ever even wrestled like a full blown match on the main roster yet. And you're gonna have her debut and then have a full blown singles match at WrestleMania within the span of 3 months. That seems a little sus too, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
So I feel like the odds of that happening aren't super high. But again, it's wrestling, so never say never. So I'm not sure where they're going with it. I'm sure the match is gonna happen. It's just a matter of what stage it's gonna happen on.
Yeah, because that's really the big thing here, guys. I mean, Roxanne acknowledges Julia won and she congratulated her, but then she goes right back into heel mode, says, this division is going to take a turn for the worse. Now that I'm not champion, it's not going to be the same without me. Says, nobody can touch me, more or less. Bailey comes out, and, she does the veteran thing. She tries to give Roxanne advice. Roxanne stops her, says, you're sounding a lot like CM Punk. They trade barbs. Bailey, Bailey made a height crack at Roxanne, which did pop me. She's like, "You
Yeah,
really weren't." Yeah. What did she say exactly? Do you remember?
yeah. She said you've been asking for advice since we've met when you were just a little shorter than you are right now, which is crazy because
Yeah.
she was 14 then.
Yeah.
Although
And
to
the
be
crowd
fair, I
really
think
audibly
Roxanne
got
is only
going.
like 22 or 23 now.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the crowd kind of gasped at that one because they were like, "Oh, damn," Bailey going after the height.
I mean, she's
And then
a
yeah,
pocket rocket.
she is. Roxanne, they go back and forth a little bit more, but then Roxanne slaps Bailey. They kind of tussle like in the ring a bit, but then it's a pull apart, and then Roxanne leaves, ceding the ring to Bailey. The crowd serenades Bailey, and that's the segment. Um, we can transition then right into SmackDown, and we can talk about first
Bro, I just
Bailey
have to
versus.
address the fact that we are already an hour and a half into this and we have not even started SmackDown yet. These 3 hour Raws and SmackDowns, we cannot afford to keep on doing these full blown recaps of Raw and SmackDown again.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I hate that SmackDown's 3 hours now. But yeah, Tiffany Stratton beats Bailey, and Bailey did at one point jaw jack with Roxanne in the crowd. So clearly, again, they are building something. Uh, Kevin Owens and Rey
You
Mysterio
know
had a
what? I wonder if
match.
that's going to be a Saturday night's main event match.
That could be. That could be. I
That
think
would
either
almost make
Vengeance
the
Day.
most sense because it's like the most urgent, like immediate thing. Bailey's probably going to be on NXT this coming Tuesday to potentially set that match up. I'm thinking Saturday night's main event. That's my guess.
I'm thinking either that or like you said, man, Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day, yeah, one of the two.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio had a match, and that was after a segment where Kevin was like, I'd be honored to face you at WrestleMania as the champion. And Kevin was so respectful about it too. And then Ray had to be like, but you're not the champion. Fuck you, Oscar. You veil face. Who are you to judge anyone? Fucking asshole.
I don't think
And
it's
then
a
Kevin
judgment. I think it's an
starts putting the boots to
observation.
him. Say that again, sir.
I said I don't think it's a judgment. I think it's an observation.
Well, he should keep them to himself. All right. I didn't ask for his fucking opinion. I don't know why he felt the need to give it. Then they have a matchup, and in all sincerity, it was a fun matchup. Actually got a early candidate for Move Cell of the Year from me with the way that Ray took the KO stunner.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens does win after the pop-up powerbomb. Then after the match, he helps Ray up, shakes his hand, but then he remembers that it's fucking Oscar, who, by the way, in their little promo segment, compared Kevin to Dominic.
That's true.
Wow.
How
What?
dare he? That was
Yeah.
definitely a step too far. I mean, if pointing out that Kevin wasn't actually the champion and that he didn't beat Cody for the title wasn't enough, comparing him to Dominic is unequivocally too fucking far.
Yeah, it's amazing that somebody can be so out of pocket who buys their clothes at fucking Baby Gap. You know what, right? Fucking fight me, motherfucker.
I mean, it's pretty easy to be out of pocket when your pockets are that small.
Exactly. Kevin was gonna finally, I've waited my entire fucking life for this, was gonna package pile drive Rey Mysterio into the fucking ground. And then who comes out? Fucking Chodius.
Chodius.
Motherfucker. And they do this whole thing again. Oh God, I wish I could be more hyped about their ladder match. What would get me hyped if I actually believed that Kevin Owens could win? But dreams don't come true, not all the time. So I've got to fucking swallow that too. But Kevin, I think, is
I
doing
will
great
say
work.
I loved the shirt that Kevin came out on when he came out at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
It said something like Canadian Dream, son of a some kind of electric technician or something like that. It was so
Yeah, dude. Kevin, this has been some of the, again, I say, this has been some of the best work of his WWE career.
I
Is
definitely agree. Yeah, it's been
yeah,
fantastic. He's having one
he
hell of a run. He's in a special place right now.
absolutely, and he'll always be in a special place in my fucking heart.
Yeah.
Uh, So after this, nobody gives a fuck about Nia Jackson. You already said that they retained, and so like you said, if we're gonna try and save time,
I
let's
will
save
say
time.
though, that match, as far as that match goes, Candice LeRae was working her ass off in that match. She busted her ass to make that match solid.
Good for Candace. I can't hide my bias. I have no idea why the fuck we're paying attention to Jimmy Uso. So do you have anything you want to say about Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah, this was another solid match actually. I was tempted, but ended up never actually pulling the trigger on adding it to my awards list. Jimmy Uso's sell and like the bump that he took on Carmelo's springboard DDT that he does looked fantastic. He did a great job. He really went all in on it.
Nice. I think my favorite part of the whole thing was when Jimmy got assaulted post match. I thought that was great. I popped. Um, and
I
yeah,
think my
Kemba.
favorite part was after Jimmy got assaulted when Mello thought he was part of the fucking club.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, we really got him, didn't we?" And then Jacob fucking lariats his head off.
God, I miss when Carmelo didn't come off like such a dweeb. What the fuck?
They're literally booking Mello like Ricochet, like he's Ricochet. It's crazy.
Oh,
Like
oh God.
if literally if you just put Ricochet in all of the segments that Mello has been booked in over the last few months, it gets infinitely funnier because we genuinely believe in Mello's vibe and his aura, but Ricochet doesn't have that, so it makes it so much funnier
He's just so bald. Uh,
and insecure.
yeah. So You Pommy, your giggles are adorable. So
Your face is
afterwards,
adorable.
wait, who's adorable?
Your face.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, nobody has to
I
die.
was just
Fuck.
repeating myself.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Um,
Golly,
Solo gets heckled out of the arena, so it's Jacob
dude. Jacob's promo here had me laughing.
in a bad way. You didn't like the promo, or like,
I don't know. It was kind of silly.
my God. I didn't realize Timu Bloodline would be the turn up portion of this show for you.
I mean,
Uh,
it just came off like you guys were mean to my best friend. I hate you now. Now I'm gonna beat up your favorites.
you know what? How old is Jacob?
Like 33-ish.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna come to his defense, be like, he's young, he's still
He's
like newish to this,
he's
so I don't
32.
know.
He's 32.
I don't know if he just felt maybe like a bit razzled by the crowd or whatever, but I mean, I do still think there's like a lot of raw fucking value in Jacob Fatu. And I do think there's a genuinely great promo in there.
Dude,
And
it's just funny though because it reminded me of the kind of promo that I would have cut when I was like 19 years old. It was like,
yeah.
oh, you're gonna make fun of me? You think I'm stupid? You think I'm lazy? Oh, well, what are you gonna do when I start putting effort into it then, huh? What are you gonna do then? It's like, holy shit, dude, what is this?
Um, well, here's a question for the room though. If this is just Jacob's promo style and he's kind of like comedic Scott Steiner, like is that the worst legacy to have?
No,
Maybe it would work.
absolutely not. I mean, he entertained me. There's far worse things to do.
Yeah, dude, absolutely, right? I mean,
Dude, and
I've
I
heard,
also love that LA Knight came out thinking he was hot shit.
dude, thank God I watched it 2 times speed. He looked like a normal human being. I'm like, oh my
Nice.
God, it's possible. This is what AI was made for. Why aren't we using it on
Also,
this?
it might just be becoming a faction because like Andrade is no longer a part of this, which thank Christ, because it might mean that he's going to get better things to do. But now another man who moves like he's got to stick up his ass in Braun Strowman has joined the fray.
They should. They should. Oh God, no! See, now this is me turning up because your giggles were so precious earlier. But they should do a segment together where they have this like sensei or something, or maybe one of them pretends to be the sage in this fucking group,
Master
and
Splinter up the ass.
Spin, but you killed me. I died. But like one of them gets a single stick. They just look at the other. They don't even fucking speak, but the eye contact is just so intense. And they break the stick in half. See, individually, we were like this, and then they get a bundle of sticks and they can't break them. But together, we'll be like this. And then they walk off, take care of business, and they're splinters. God, it's so bad. Dude, honestly, and mainly because, like, again, I have just been in weird, rare form today. I really can't wait to see LA Knight thrown over the top rope in Super Blues reaction. I hope Jacob Fatu is the one that does it. That'd be hilarious. Oh man, to throw his ass out of his
It would
WrestleMania fucking
somehow be
dreams.
even funnier if Tama Tonga did it.
Yeah. Oh god, that segment was more fun than I thought it would be. Oh my god. Okay. Um. Motor City Machine Guns beat Los Garza.
This match slapped.
Good. Dude, it
Low
would
key
have to.
match of the show, I think.
That's not surprising. Yeah.
Like, I don't know
Um,
if I would like necessarily. Actually, I'm pretty confident I would not compare it to like Penta Gable or even necessarily like Gable Dempsey,
yeah.
but just really strong match, really fantastic match. In star ratings, I would say like 3.75.
Dude, I gotta tell you, I like the guns. I've always liked the guns.
Yeah,
I've said all the time, if anybody wants to go deep in the archives when I've talked about my early TNA experience, I latched onto the guns hard back then.
yeah,
I think Garza's kind of my team now, though. I really like these guys.
yeah, dude. I
Um,
love Angel Garza. Angel Garza is so underrated. He's so good.
yeah, dude, agree.
Did you see the fucking strength that this dude had?
Unfortunately, I didn't even watch the highlights of this match because I was kind of in a rush. What
Dude,
did he do? Like a deadlift
he
or something?
he had I don't know which one, but he had one of the guns in like fall away slam position, and the other one up on his shoulders, like in a fireman's carry position, for like an extended amount of time while he was waiting for Umberto to come off the ropes. It was impressive.
Wow,
Yeah, he had the
dude.
whole weight of the entire Motor City Machine Guns team literally like supporting them on his body at the same time in the middle of the ring for like a decent, like I'd say at least 5 seconds solid.
Yeah, dude. That I really just hope Los Garza win the fucking tag titles at some point this year.
Because that's
Um,
the thing too, is Angel's not a big dude. He's not like a like a specimen, like a big like fucking Randy Orton sized guy. He's like sub 6 feet. If we're talking real life numbers, he is realistically probably under 200 pounds. I know that his work weight is like that 205 number that they always throw around. I don't know if that's real or not. Even if it is, even if that's real, he's barely over 200 pounds, and he had probably like 350 to 400 pounds up on his shoulders and on his body at the same time. Like that's really impressive shit to me.
yeah, dude, stud, absolute beast. Guns do win, and yeah, then we get a segment. Kevin Owens backstage, signing an addendum, apparently, or some kind of a
Dude,
thing.
this was a whole running thing throughout the night. Um, Aldis added an addendum to the contract. He tried to get Cody to sign it. Cody wouldn't sign it till Kevin signed it. Tried to get Kevin to sign it. Kevin wouldn't sign it till Cody signs it. So it led to the whole breakdown later on in the night after the Kevin Ray match, where Cody came out to try and stop Kevin from hurting Ray. They tussle, and it leads to them. We had like I think Aldis got on a mic and scolded both of them and said, next week, or no, actually, it was at Saturday night's main event. On Saturday night's main event, we're going to do a contract signing for the ladder match at Rumble. So that's and that HBK is going to be moderating the contract signing.
I only like that because we know that the ladder match, and at least as far as WWE concerned, is synonymous with Shawn Michaels, so it
Yeah,
makes sense. Um, then speaking of that, we do get Ray Kevin, already talked about it, and then we got Bailey Tiffany, already talked about it. So as far as I'm concerned, we're done with SmackDown.
yeah.
Um, so
I
I'm just
like it. That only took us like 12 minutes at most.
I'm gonna ask you any extracurriculars this week.
Just that one fantastic WWE speed match between Dempsey and Gable. That was fucking amazing.
Yes, it was, and thank you for tagging me in that, not just on Discord, but also messaging me on Facebook because you knew like that was my fucking shit. You're like, oh, John has to see this. None for me, at least none that I can remember. Fucking, I need to get that AEW out of my fucking
Oh yeah,
brain.
I will
So,
say too, I did get a quote of the year honorable mention slash nominee from this episode of SmackDown.
okay, and it was.
Chelsea Green backstage when she and Piper, well, really Piper entered first, and she went up to her and said, "Thank you, my spicy little secret Hervis."
I want to be best friends with Chelsea Green. I'm
Dude,
just putting that
right?
out there.
Don't we all though? Don't
I
we
just,
all?
I just want to watch Legally Blonde with her and just have a great fucking time.
She's
I just,
awesome. I love her.
I have wholesome dreams too, people, and that's one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
So yes, let's open up the forum for questions. Any questions, the guys, about this week in the world of wrestling?
Questions, questions, questions. I feel like we've actually been very neglectful of chat throughout this, so I wouldn't be surprised if people brought up questions that they probably said something about earlier
I feel
on.
like I've been
While
keeping a close eye. Okay, so we got a question from Super Blue. Do you think WWE will be bold to bring Hogan back to Saturday Night's main event?
nah,
God, I hope not. Remove the B, and you'd be more accurate about the decision making because that sounds like a very old head decision. Fuck Hulk Hogan. He can stay away for all I care. Um,
what is the venue? Saturday night main event. Let's see, 2025. Boom. San Antonio, Texas. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I doubt it, but I don't think that if they would, he would be booed quite as universally as he was in Los Angeles.
there you go. Foster, any ideas on what Aldis wanted Cody and Kevin to sign? Um, Given that it's gonna be just so close to Rumble, at first I would have thought that, oh, no physicality until Rumble, just to kind of get control of the show. But honestly, if he gets him to sign it so close to like, I don't really see the point. So I don't really know. I don't really know. Um, maybe it was just like after the match, like it's over. Just like the match has to settle it. Any physicality post match, which I think you'd worry more about with Kevin with the pile drivers, which I don't even know what shape he'd be in. It's a fucking ladder match, but that it would be like a fine or something. So yeah. Or
What's
do we
something
just
that neither one of them would want to sign?
again? That's why my first thought was a no physicality agreement or something until Rumble, but they didn't sign it, so
Maybe
I
it's
don't. I
something
don't
that
really know.
like the winner is the new undisputed WWE champion.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like you can't argue about it anymore once you win this match, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't want to hear Kevin like crowing about it anymore or any of that crap. Like the winner is
Or
the
even
winner.
like
The
if
winner is
Cody
yeah.
were to lose, like you don't get. Or maybe it's like a loser can't challenge the winner while they're champion thing.
Yeah. Oh, maybe because that would take Kevin out of the title picture for the foreseeable future. Fuck.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that. That's gonna be my official guess. My official guess is whoever loses the match cannot challenge the winner of the match while they hold that title during their current reign.
okay. I like that. I like that. Abel, did you acknowledge your tribal chief today? Yeah, I acknowledged my tribal chief. Jacob thought to today. So.
I acknowledge my tribal chief Solo Sokoa today.
Oh, you still think Solo's the tribal chief even though he lost the tribal combat. Nice. That's a loyal
A real
man right
tribal chief leads a fucking tribe. I don't see Roman leading a fucking tribe.
there. Yeah.
Or Jacob. Jacob don't lead a tribe either. He follows Solo.
Yeah. Well, for now, he didn't say "I love you" Solo apparently in that promo, and a lot of people kind of were like, "What?"
You
But
know he thought it though. He felt it in his soul
God,
and
I
in his
love you.
heart.
All right. All right. Super Blue. Do you think Saturday night's main event will have better spacing for the wrestlers this time, or keep it old school? I think he means like the entrance way. I think they'll keep it old school. I don't really think they're gonna change the design. What's up?
Alex in chat loser gets a tattoo removed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, Kevin with the bowl on his shoulder and fucking Cody's neck growth.
The way you said growth, way to enunciate in my pants. Uh,
Wait, your headphones are in your pants?
I mean, they could be. Is that where this is going? Um, so Super Blue asked, "How do you feel about the new deal with WWE and TNA?" I mean, if it gives me good wrestling, I really don't give a shit about anything else. Just keep Tessa Blanchard off the shows. So
That's the big one. I mean, there's a lot of other people that I'd like to see them keep off the shows. Steve Cutler. Um, is Solomon? I mean, is I almost called him Solomon Crow. Is Sammy Callahan still employed by TNA? Could keep
I
his ass
think
off
he is,
too.
unfortunately.
Jesus Christ, he PC the fuck off. PCO the fuck off. Yeah, keep Moose away. That's a good one. Who else? Let's see. God, I feel like there's too many to name, honestly. Um, who else is problematic in TNA?
Uh, fuck.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Keep not problematic, but just a preference thing. Keep Ash by Elegance away. I know she's already shown up, but we don't need to see her again.
Yeah.
Um, keep Cody Deaner away. Not problematic, but I just don't need to see him in NXT. Keep Eddie Edwards away. Keep Eric Young away. Keep Frankie Kazarian away, even though he's already shown up once. Um, let's see. Who else? Keep the fucking Christ brothers away. I know they team up with Sammy Callahan a lot, so just keep all of the Ohio versus everything faction the fuck away. Um, keep Joe Doring away. Keep the Hardy Boys away. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny as fuck that they're even around in TNA. They're the tag team champions, by the way, I
Yeah.
believe. Keep Jonathan Gresham away. I know Jordan Grace is around. She might want to do a little politicking and get some pull. Don't let her.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. That might be. Well, keep Mid Cardona away.
Yeah. Oh God.
Keep Matthew Raywalt away, please. I want to say that's it. I already mentioned Steve Cutler. That's Steve Macklin. They're the same person. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Oh, Tommy Dreamer, keep him away too. And Trent
Oh,
Seven, keep him away too.
dude, Tom, you know what? I was gonna make an offensive joke. I'm gonna swallow it because I'm really trying to be better this year. But you said Tommy Dreamer, and wow, it's amazing where my thoughts go to with some people. God, I really need help. So no other questions. Okay. Any
Wow.
any other questions, guys?
Going once.
Going twice. Oh, Super Blue says real question is basically no one from TNA. He didn't say the entire roster. There were clearly people left, right? I don't want us to have to go through everybody that was left. Can we just acknowledge that there were people left? Are you still there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. What's up?
Okay, yeah, no, Super Blue said that was a real question because he said
Was he
above.
talking
So
about the
basically,
BFT question? Is the BFT more over the current roster?
oh, I guess that was a question because I thought it was like based. So basically, no one for TNA, and then I had to credit him and be like, well, he didn't name the entire roster. Um, so yeah, I guess he did mean the BFT. No, what are you talking about? What? How is that a real question? Over what roster? The TNA roster? Because Joe Hendry, I think, is more over than the fucking BFT. If we're just going by that
I don't
roster,
know what he's asking,
I
honestly.
don't, dude. I I don't know. I
Is
don't
he
know. It's
asking if the BFT is more over than the current like WWE roster?
he's just wrong either way.
He just wants to hear us jerk off an LA Knight thing, and it's never gonna
That's
happen, Super
that's
Blue.
not
Give up on it.
happening. No, it's not happening. I don't want to get splinters. My hand isn't going anywhere near him. I wear gloves when I handle the wood in my fucking house. I deal with enough splintery potential material as it is. Um, Foster, who would be sent? Who should be sent over to TNA from WWE NXT? Not to get rid of them. Legitimately, who would benefit?
Oh, I like this question.
Honestly, before his injury, I would have loved Chris Bay to get some fucking NXT shine, but I know
No,
he's
no,
dealing with
other
some
way
very things
around.
right now.
He's asking who from the NXT roster would benefit from a TNA run.
Oh, I read that question wrong. That's my mistake. My apologies, Foster. Um,
And you know what? Genuinely, unironically, Brooks fucking Jensen. I know you said not to just get rid of him, but this is a legitimate answer. Brooks Jensen would genuinely work in TNA because of his entire gimmick. His entire gimmick is like, they don't want me in NXT, so I'm going to go try and make it work elsewhere now. Like, rather than like, oh, I'm going to get fired from NXT, or oh, they don't want me in NXT, so I'm going to be a fucking incel and just insist upon it regardless. Grow a set and go try and make a name for yourself elsewhere. And it works because TNA has the working relationship, so you're still under the umbrella.
yeah, I think that's a great answer. I would say Izzy Dame just because she's still kind of in a weird place on NXT. I'd like to see her mix it up with the knockouts. I think she
You
could
know
get
what?
some good
Another
exposure there.
really good answer to me is Wendy Chu because she fits in with the spooky women's division.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see if we can give at least one more answer before moving on. I do agree with Foster about Cedric. Um,
Oh, man, I don't know about that. I mean, Cedric, I think fits in NXT where he is, especially like I really like his tag team with Javon. I think they work really well.
Honestly, just to get him out of the fucking Heritage Cup whirlpool, I'd like Charlie Dempsey to have like a brief TNA stint. Honestly,
Charlie could literally win the X Division title, and I would love that for him.
dude, God, you put that out into the universe, I'd fucking pop hard. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
that's what I'm saying.
Um,
Dion Lennox could be an interesting TNA
I like
run.
that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then just because I know you did say not just to get rid of them, but unironically just to get rid of them, Hank and Tank, go the fuck away, please.
yeah. There you go. Abel asking, "Do you believe in Joe Hendry?" I
No,
believe the TNA
I
needs to
don't.
stop fucking around. and fucking put the world title on him
I
already.
love John's like winding up for an actual, genuine, nuanced answer, and I just am like, no, I don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's genuinely fucking over with the TNA fans. No, I didn't watch the latest segment with him and Nick Nemeth because I am a firm believer that Nemeth, not even once. But yeah, because apparently now, like, Nemeth answered the. And by the way, for anybody that would feel like I'm gonna get one up on him and correct, I know it's Nemeth. Sit the fuck down. Uh, but they're gonna
No, you
answer
call
like the
him the
John.
meth because his that's how his name is spelled, and it sounds like you're saying meth.
Yeah, because that's what you have to be on to think that Nemeth should be a champion in 2025. And it started in 2024, so, I mean, not much better.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
How long has his reign lasted?
too long. Too long.
I'm googling.
You do that.
I am.
So Hendry should have won it Bound for Glory. He's got the shot at Genesis. I have no idea when the fuck Genesis even is. Something tells me Nemeth might even retain again. Um,
Nick Nemeth has been TNA champion since fucking July.
do I even need to say anything else?
It's been 6 months almost. Holy shit.
Super Blue following that up with, would you watch TNA Genesis NXT this Sunday? I value my Sundays a lot. We both do. No. I'm
I
saying no
genuinely
right now.
will probably peep it because um not most of it, not all of it, but I know that um Ravens Bills starts at 6:30, which means that game will probably be over between 9:30 and 10. I will probably tune in for whatever is left of that show after that game is over. Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah, given that the Lions are now out, I do want to say too that go Ravens. So let's do it,
Yeah.
son. Let's get the Ravens to the Super Bowl. Let's get you a fucking ring, son. You and Warren me both getting fucking rings. It'd be fucking great. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Meta
So yeah,
4?
I
Technically?
will I will say, since I should also like say with your question, Super Blue, I'm just having horrible reading comprehension tonight, apparently, because when you said watch, I just internalized it as react, because I know that's mainly what we do. No, 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 no. But watch, probably also no, but I'll keep like a wrestling dirt site or whatever, like, and the moment that Genesis results like drop, I'll go straight to the main event and see if they actually put it on Henry. Because part of me thinks that Nemeth is just retaining again, and it's like Jesus
No, I think
fucking
this is the
Christ.
one. I think Henry's winning it.
We'll remember that we both said this.
I
Yeah.
was the one that was like, Henry's not winning it the last time that he challenged Nemeth.
Yeah.
I was the one that was like, no, no, no. It's going to be a retention. Nemeth's going to keep it. I think this is the one. This is going to be the one where Henry gets it.
I've had weird thoughts about Nemeth lately too, but that's a separate matter.
Sexy thoughts?
No, no, no. Just weird John, like, for the love of God, man, get on some fucking meds because you need something kind of thoughts. But
Oh.
that's a separate matter. Uh let's see here.
Super Blue did say that basically no one from TNA thing was me naming most of the roster not wanting NXT. I just want to name a few people from TNA that I would love to see in NXT. Ace Austin, Alicia Edwards. Let's see. Chris Bay when he gets healthy. Miss you, Chris. Hope you recover fully
Hell yeah.
and very
Yeah.
healthily. Um, Jake something. Um, I mean, I actually left out Josh Alexander from the people that I don't want in NXT because I would actually love Alexander and Ethan Page to tag up. And you know what? Let them beat Fraxium. Fuck it. Tag division is a perfect spot for Ethan Page. And frankly, it's a perfect spot for Josh Alexander, too. They're both mid carders or tag team wrestlers. Like, that's perfect for them. Give me Kevin Knight in NXT and I will splooge. That'll be
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
I don't know if she's still pregnant or if she had the baby, but Killer Kelly would be an amazing get for NXT. Leon Slater would be amazing in NXT. Masha was already there, and I was stoked about that. I'd love to see more of her. Mike Santana, I would love to see in NXT. I mean, we've already had Rich Swann in NXT and on the main roster, and he's great. I'd love to have more of him. I know that Steph Delander is dealing with major spine issues, but if she does manage to get healthy, I would love to see her back in NXT because I know that she's been there before as Persia Parada. She's fantastic. And just to kind of put the cherry on top, bring back Tom Hannafin. Fuck Vic Joseph.
Hannafin is amazing. Okay. Going back up a little bit, just kind of reorienting ourselves. Abel, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are we for Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson versus Bianca Belair and Naomi? I'm at an 8 right now.
I
I
was gonna say
really,
8.5. Yeah.
yeah, I really hope that they win. I'm not necessarily counting on it, but I definitely think the window is open a crack for that to happen.
Yep.
So, Super Blue, who do we think will win their matches on Saturday night's main event? Well, the matches I know right now, Braun versus Sheamus and Gunther versus Jay. I just think champions retain. I don't think we're going to get any serious title changes. Do we know any other matches besides that?
Wait, you said Braun versus Sheamus, but Braun's facing Jacob.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I
dude.
meant Braun
Strowman
Breaker.
versus. Oh, you break. Oh, we got our Brauns mixed up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, what are you talking about right
No,
now?
well, okay. So yeah, I got confused because Braun Strowman is facing Jacob Fatu on Saturday night's main event.
Jacob's winning that. Jacob's
Yeah,
winning that. So
fully
yeah,
agree. But yeah, Braun Breaker is facing Sheamus for the IC title. Fully expect Breaker to retain it.
yes. And like I said, I expect Gunther to beat Jay. So
Yes, correct. Agree. All right. Any other matches announced for that?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go out on a limb because it does feel like they are slightly rushing the build, which tells me that it might actually happen on SNME. And I'm gonna say Roxanne Bailey happens, and I'm actually gonna pick Bailey to win that.
I would agree because I think if Roxanne wins, it's going to be a bigger stage, and it's going to be when the build has more time to breathe, so it's going to mean
I
more.
almost have to. When is Vengeance Day?
That's maybe mid-February.
Do we think there's any chance it's February 15th? Okay. Do we think there's any chance that Bailey beats Roxanne at Saturday night's main event and they build to a rematch because maybe like Bailey catches Roxanne in like some kind of like vet roll up type maneuver that Roxanne just wasn't ready for and she pops up and she's all pissy and we get a rematch on Vengeance Day and Roxanne wins there and we set up for the rubber match to happen at Mania?
Happen. I like that. I like that.
Maybe
We'll
like a
see.
stip, I don't know. Maybe like a submission match. Ooh,
Yeah, maybe. Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I don't know.
Uh,
Roxanne doesn't even really use a submission though, does she?
well, I mean, she has that crossface she's been using,
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
yeah,
Bailey
that's a
doesn't
problem.
either though.
Bailey, to be fair, she kind of did a crossface in her match with Stratton. I thought that was kind of a shout out to Mercedes, the bank statement
Oh
kind of thing.
shit.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
so observant. Thank you.
I know. Well, I mean, when I get to look at something as beautiful as your face, who wouldn't be observant?
You're really good at noticing
Um,
things. Notice me, senpai.
well, I already did, and you're fabulous. Super Blue, do you think Corey will be back next week or getting suspended? Hopefully getting suspended. I'm tired of his faux edgy fucking ass. Um, Abel, is Big Jim him? Not on his fucking life. He's a twin. Accept it.
There's only
Um,
one him in WWE, and his name rhymes with Boba Temi.
yes. I'm so glad you didn't say it was Carmelo Hayes because I'm like, not anymore. It's not. But Obafemi, yes. Um, Super Blue again. I think this is going to be the last question, guys, because we're coming close to like quarter 1, and I'm ready to close the game, move on to our final segment. Why is WWE hell bent on attacking AEW? Next Saturday night's main event will go head to head with All In Texas because fuck them. That's why.
I'm
Yeah.
confused. Why is WWE hell bent on attacking AEW? Attacking? Really?
Yeah. I mean, Super Blue, that seems one a bit much. Two, it's capitalism. Everybody's trying to step on the throat of everybody else. And three, have you seen the Chris Jericho clips that Abel posted in Discord? 'Cause I would peep that if I were you, and then ask if WWE isn't doing them a favor by trying to do a mercy killing.
I
Because Jesus
also
fucking
like
Christ.
it's also just like they're not like going out of their way to like talk shit about AEW like they could. If they really wanted to stomp AEW's throat, it would be so fucking easy. They're doing like baby step shit. Like they're almost like messing with them. They're tousling their hair and calling them scamp.
It's so true. All right. I think I'm done with this. I think I'm ready to move on to our main event segment. High spots and low shots. My low shot, so many losers to choose from. I don't think that pop was for me, so what made you pop?
No, it was for you. The way you phrased that popped me.
Oh, nice, nice. I earned it. I feel good about myself now. I was hoping. I didn't get my hopes up, but I was secretly hoping. Let's see.
It could be
You know,
Jericho.
dude, dude, you know what? Can I do it? Is that actually viable?
Did he lose the match at least?
Did he? Somebody tell me if Jericho lost this week. Please say yes. But tell me the truth, but I hope it's yes. Dude. I think fuck, I was keeping it together so well. I just want to go home.
Wait. I don't think Jericho was actually on Dynamite this week, was he?
Oh fuck, was he not? Damn.
What segment? Wait, what? When was that from? Was that from Collision last week? That was from Collision last week. I guess it's not eligible shit.
I have to say this now because we started, and I'm sorry, everybody, because I do want to get us all out of here. But I think from that compilation that Abel shared, the part, the part that always kills me
The ref
is
bump?
when no, I mean that's hilarious, but no, I think it's the failed triangle dropkick on Suzuki, and then he gets chopped, and then he looks like he's exhaling his entire life that he was holding in. And then those 1004 folds that you were talking about just come out like he couldn't keep it together anymore. Oh, he Jera blows. My actual throw shot. If I could get it together for 2 fucking seconds. Wow, Super Blue, so disrespectful on both counts. Um, I think my actual low shot, you know what? It's gonna be Kalani Jordan. Um, you
Nice.
slapped her, but then you lost to her. It's just again, nobody loses like Lonnie, and I don't really know if this is even gonna lead to a heel turn or
She's
anything.
not the same girl.
Yeah, because as you said earlier, the old Lonnie used to be a champion. So yeah, I'm just gonna say Kalani's my low shot. I don't know. There were a lot of people to make fun of. I probably missed a huge opportunity here. I'm ashamed of myself, but I'll bounce
Oh
back.
my
Uh,
god.
who is your low shot?
Um. Um. Hmm. I am gonna make my low shot. Honorable low shot to JC Jane.
Yeah,
Because she got choked the fuck out by Stephanie in the locker room, and that was great.
nice.
She didn't actually get choked out, but like, yeah, that was a great moment backstage for Steph. Actual low shot though is gonna go to Bailey
Nice, nice.
because as like behind her that San Jose crowd was, that's her hometown, and you fucking hope so. And she cut a lame promo on Raw. She got slapped in the face on NXT, and then she lost an opportunity at the women's title on Friday on SmackDown. So like it's just been a rough week for her. And then not to mention like just like real life wise, she had to fly from San Jose to Orlando and then back to San Diego in 1 week. That's rough. It's been a bad week for Pamby.
Damala, more like Damala.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. Yeah, it's been a rough week
Oh
for her.
god. I'm tilting.
Kayfabe
Anyway,
and real life, it's been rough.
given that this week runs from January 12th to January 18th,
Yes.
I'm going to say that my high spot is Athena because
Nice.
on those Stardom shows, January 12th and 13th, she pinned Tekla in a tag match who was going to challenge her for the ROH Women's Championship, and then she retained the title against her. So Athena dominated.
I
She
was
had a
very
great
tempted
Stardom
to
tour.
make Tekla an honorable low shot. I just didn't bother.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't usually bother after I smush spiders either. Which I've actually stopped doing because they're fascinating creatures. But yeah, it was a great Japan tour for Athena. She was very emotional that she got to do it, and she did it well, and she did them proud. And I think she is really the best kept secret in women's wrestling because Tony Khan refuses to platform her on Dynamite. So there you go.
Yeah.
Who is your high spot, bud?
Let's see. I think actually this is relatively easy for me. It's Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah,
She pinned Stephanie McCare and became the undisputed number one contender for Fallon Henley's title. So yeah, Shotzi.
well, that's over. We did the thing. Cool. Be sure to leave a like if you file out, subscribe to the bell notifications so you miss any of the 12 goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Blue Sky and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And we will see you guys Tuesday at 5. We are doing Royal Rumble
Oh, wait, Monday,
2001.
Monday, Marty Gold.
We got Mario Go Monday. Okay, I didn't. Okay,
Most likely Monday, if not Wednesday. But
but we can get away with 6 for that, right? Because we're doing a really short show.
it's like 5 matches. Yeah, five for sure, 6.
Okay, then I stand corrected. So let's run it back. Monday at 6 is Monday Gold. We got 5 matches we're reacting to. Tuesday, though, and this is why I have it in mind, it's a TwitWoW request live. And in fact, I'll even get ahead of it and I'll say this coming Tuesday and then the Tuesday after. So the 21st and the 28th. We've got 12-hour request lives. It's Rumble season, and our fans know it. Dom has got us this Tuesday. Royal Rumble 2001 live reactions. It's going to be a 5. Marks, we've decided to do it 4 because he's having us react to 2 Rumble matches and 2 world title matches. And so together that comes out to just shy of 3 hours. And so I want us to have breathing room for NXT. Granted, Royal Rumble 2001, that's going to be 250, but I'm not really sweating that too much. And so yeah, it's Rumble Extravaganza. We got 21st Royal Rumble 2001 courtesy of Dom, 28th Royal Rumble 2000. Well, it's a mix of 2004, 2009 courtesy of Mark Schoeneman. So thank you very much to both you guys for fulfilling those requests. And that'll be the same week. 28th will be the same week we do Rumble preview predictions, get our Rumble mini game in, and then February 1st is going to be Rumble live reactions. Hopefully, the Rumble matches themselves make for a great show. You're damn right. Make for a great show because that ladder match, oh god, I love KO so fucking much, but it's Cody Rhodes and he ruins everything. So we'll have to see. But yeah, so most immediately, Monday, Monday Gold, love that alliteration, and Tuesday, Twitter Request Live. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy fucking football, what's left of it. Detroit's Lions fans, I feel your pain. I'm with you. Next season, let's get it done. I know there's going to be some change in management, well, just staff, really. And hopefully that doesn't hurt too much. That loss, it stings. Really stings because I watched a lot of Lions content leading up to this game, but we'll get them back. But all you remaining football fans who the dream is kept alive, enjoy it, savor it, enjoy the adventure, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in. Peace out.